opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. It is Monday, October 7th, 2024. I am your host, Scott Lewis. And of course, you can follow me at Barberchair Scott on all social media platforms. Man, you can also follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net on all social media platforms as well. Follow our partners, H&B Media TV on Twitter, and H&B Media on Instagram, man. And of course, you can subscribe to the patreon.com/Barberchair Network. And if you're looking at the screen right now, you can take the phone up to the screen. It'll take you right to the link. The link will give you all four tiers: the Summer Sessions tier, the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, 7 Night the Hallis tier, and then you have the Barberchair Network All Access tier for $10, where you get everything that we are offering on there, man. And for the first time subscribers, you will get a 25% off code for the Barberchair Network shop, and you can visit that right here at bcnetshop.com. Get all your I'm Not Gonna Hold You gear, get all your 7 Night the Hallis gear, all your Barberchair Network gear in general. And if you support 7 Night the Hallis like we know you do, copy 10th anniversary merch. You can see right up here, we got shirts, we got hoodies, 10 seasons deep on this ridiculous Bears podcast that took us from being meatball fans to the niggas at the Bears Silly knowing my name and calling Mr. Lewis when I pull up in the parking lot. So it's been a long time. A lot of things have happened, man. But we've got a good show for y'all on deck. No Courtney. Courtney is out today. Mikey is still down with the wrong bone. He will be joining us hopefully next week. And I got Bang and Dante here with me, man. You can follow them on social media at JR Bang, all social media platforms. You can follow Dante at October Zone Tay on Twitter. And just a reminder, no show on Friday. No show on Friday because I will be out of the country. Dante will be out of the country. And yeah, man, so we're not going to do a show. But we will be back next Friday. Not next Friday, next Monday, the 14th. I will be planning the host because I was told to get adapted back to American time zone that I need to power through the first day. So I am going to do that. My flight lands at 2:30. And shout out to Stogie J in the chat. He said we were supposed to be up here at 4, but we was late. We're probably gonna be late next week, depending on how long it takes.
It was 4
minutes. It was 4 minutes. We are 3 black men on this show right now. You know it's gonna be a little late, even though I pride myself on my on timeless. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, we ain't ESPN, nigga.
Actually, we was ready to go. I just had a story I had to tell or a fact I had to get off that I couldn't get off on air. So yeah, I don't want a certain. Never mind. We're gonna move on. Orlando said, "Man, them folks." Yes, man, them folks. Dante, Bang, how y'all feeling on this Victory Monday? 2 Victory Mondays in a row.
I'm happy it's Victory Monday. Let's just say that. It's been a long.
Yeah, day. I'm excited, man. You know, shout out to everybody that showed me the love for my birthday. It was a good weekend. And the Bears got the dub. I know I
Wanna
picked
say
28-10.
happy birthday to you. Late.
I picked 28-10. They got 36. So I mean, I was very excited. I love what I saw.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody who was at the game. It kind of felt like he says, "Cool, we three. What do you say? We 3-man weaving today. Bang, gotta get on a block post up."
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's only 3 of us today. Dante, what did you do to celebrate your birthday this weekend?
Well, I did something like this. I just went to the Atlanta United game. That was fun. You know, they had to win to get to the playoffs, so they actually won 2-0. That was a good game.
So they're
Just
MLS
chilling.
squad. They're MLS.
Yeah,
squad?
they MLS. They MLS.
Okay, cool. All right, that makes more sense. I was like, what? That's like the Chicago Fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Bang, how was your weekend?
man, I chilled. I relaxed. It's been a long, like September was long. Getting my whams on. It was a lot of crazy news that's happened, depressing news, people dying and shit, puff shit. I just wanted to chill out. So I chilled out. And then shit, it's been busier since I got back. So and then plus the Bears won though. So that's really all that matters at this point. That I didn't say what I said they was gonna win by at least 14. So I'm happy. And we're gonna talk about this a little bit more.
Yes, sir. And that means it is time for the local hour.
Here's the local hour.
I keep forgetting this. It's my duty to pull this up. As
And
Nikhil,
the nigga just said,
Right.
and the nigga just said, I got all the pictures, dog.
I said I wouldn't. I said I wasn't gonna cut you off on the video, which I have not done yet. But yeah, we are here. Local hour sponsored by nobody. Shout out to everybody watching here on Instagram, Twitter.
Sponsor the local hour.
Sponsor the local hour. Somebody Chuck's Pizza, holler at me on 103rd and Western. I buy too much of y'all pizzas. Come holler at me. We need to talk. But we got it. It's Victory Monday, second Victory Monday in the row. As you can see, I have the Victory Monday shades on, even though I had these shades on Friday. But the point still remains. Victory Monday shades. You know what I'm saying? It's time to talk about this game. I really enjoyed this game yesterday. We all talked about, well, Bang talked about, Jay Hood talked about on the Friday show about having a homecoming type of game. Like, we wanted to have the homecoming field where you play the bum ass team and they pretty much get blown out. I remember one specific homecoming game when I was at Curie High School over on the southwest side. And I always said, you know what's the interesting thing about Curie? Curie is literally like the dividing line between the south side and the west side. If you come out the opening entrance door over there on Archer, you make a left, you out south. You make a right, you out west. And once you officially get over that little train station, not train station, but train tracks over there on there's that Kedzie, Pulaski, over on Pulaski, you officially out west. Once you get over that little train tracks, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's how it kind of feels. But I remember my first homecoming game at Curie. I didn't play, by the way. I was not an athlete, but it was a homecoming game. We played our arch rivals, Bogan High School, which is on 79th Street. And I always said they didn't like us because we had things like computers in our high school, and we didn't have uniforms. That the niggas was mad at us because we had uniforms. You know what I'm saying? He said we call that muddy waters over there. That's hilarious. But we beat them. I think it was 63-3.
Ooh.
And our starting quarterback. I'm not gonna say his name. He RIP. He passed away like 15 years ago. But our starting quarterback actually got his ass whooped outside after the end of the homecoming dance. Bogan came up there and flooded Buddy in the back. And I remember I was leaving the dance. I was like, oh. And the crazy thing was I knew some of the niggas jumping them. I went to grammar school with niggas who went to both. Bogan was walking distance from where I grew up. So I was like, well, one of the places I grew up. I always say when people say where from the south side, yeah, I think I lived all over the south side. But one of the places I was at that time. But that just made me think when I think of homecoming game. And yes, they had a homecoming game feel, not just because of the score. There was a lot of celebrities at the game yesterday. It kind of felt like mini MSG, Chicago MSG. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to the Knicks game, you see all the New York celebrities. I always say the difference between Knicks games and Laker games. Knicks games are New York celebrities. Laker games are just celebrities. Like you'll see Leonardo DiCaprio pull up, Denzel pull up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas who like high. You know, and Knicks games you'll see the same niggas like Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan, John McEnroe. You know all the
Spike
niggas
Lee, Chris Rock.
Spike Lee, Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like Chicago yesterday, Derrick Rose was there. You know what I'm saying? D Rose had the whole family. I posted a picture of him and Caleb Williams on the 7 at the Hallis page, which was dope. A lot of people say, "Oh, he got on Justin Fields jersey." No, he had a personalized Derrick Rose jersey. Let's use our heads here, people. That he had, he was there. Angel Reese is tall and fine in person. Okay, like tall and fine. You know what I'm saying? Like she smelled good. And she was there. And randomly, Captain America, Anthony Mackie was there.
What the hell he was doing there?
He's a fucking clown. That nigga's a Saints fan.
No, but I think he's doing something with the NFL because he's been to different stadiums every Sunday. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of thing he's doing, but he's been a different game. He was in Detroit last week. He was in like an Atlanta game, I think, the week before that. So I don't know if he's doing something with the NFL.
He always out here.
Yeah, but he was there. And Ari Gold, my man Jeremy Piven, Ari Gold was at the game.
He was back at the crib. Okay.
He was back at the crib. Ari Gold was there. I didn't see him backstage. Well, in the back area by where the field is at, usually where you see the celebrities, they usually wait to meet the players and stuff. Yeah. They had this is how big Caleb celebrities gotten already. Derrick Rose and Angel Reese were waiting to meet this nigga. And I knew that Caleb was doing something because DJ Moore came to the podium. And I was like, we only talked to Flukes and Caleb at the games. And DJ had both his kids with him. And both of them, his kids are hilarious. But it just kind of had like a homecoming game type of feel yesterday, man. And the crowd was great. Underrated, streak that I feel like nobody's talking about, even Bears fans. The Bears are 8-0. 8 in a row.
Talk your shit.
At Soldier Field. Soldier Field is really starting to become home field advantage. You know what I'm saying? And it was just good vibes yesterday. Before we get into the actual nitty-gritty, just tell me what y'all thought about your overall feel of coming out of that game. I'll go to you first, man.
Man, it was what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a situation where this was a homecoming game. You got a team that you should beat. They had a lot of injuries on that side. So the one thing that, trying to say this the right way, the one thing that I probably could have been nervous about, or anybody could have been nervous about, is playing down to your competition. And that's the one thing that the Bears have done over the years, is play down to their competition. So I definitely was nervous at the fact that could possibly happen, but it didn't happen. I think a lot of people saw that first run, that first touchdown run by Hubbard, was like, oh, here we go with this shit. But the Bears rolled off 27 straight after that. So they did what was needed to be done. You beat the teams that you needed to beat, but you also have to look good doing it. You can win, but you got to look good doing it, and Caleb looked good doing it. So I was happy.
Before we get to Dante, I have to answer something real quick in the chat real quick. Alex named a couple Kerry facts that I got to talk about real quick. The orange line death trap. Yes, my nigga. I have seen many fades get distributed at the Pulaski orange line step. I've seen a nigga get knocked out by a woman. Damn. Like, I'm not gonna say the nigga's name, but the nigga looked at one of my homies like, "Dude, you just gonna let her hit me, fo?" I'm like, "What you gonna do? You gonna knock shorty out?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got shot. 2006. I got shot at 3 times in a 3-month span. Not 3 months. It was 3 weeks. Let me take that back.
Like, meant to shoot at you?
No. Well, one was meant.
He was around shooting.
No, one was meant. Me and Mike from Pillars, we got shot at on the 9 because we make sure one of my homies make sure he got to his grandma's house and he wasn't familiar with the area. No. Niggas tried to rob us. Nigga, I was like, hey, I'm knocking at least one nigga out. Like, that's what I told Mike. I was like, nigga, I'm knocking at least one. I'm leaving here with something. This 2006. This was way before Denzel said that. I was like, I'm leaving here with something. And then when they circling us, I shit you not. I know it sounded like a scene from Rush Hour. A black truck pulled up, door open. And you can ask Mike, he'll tell you the same story. Da 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 da. Niggas was trying to get the niggas that was trying to rob us. And so that's the first time. The second time was at the Orange Line stop. This is when it was an actual race war. It was really GDs versus the Kings, but if you were black, you were automatically GD. And all the stuff happened over there. Also, Alex said Bocce's $3 pizza. Now that was a freshman kicking spot, but we also knew that she was a freshman if you went over there. Once I knew that, I stopped winning. I stopped going to you know what I'm saying, Bocce's. He said, "What was I doing in the 100? I wasn't in the hundreds. We was on 79th Street. The only time I'm in the hundreds is when I'm with my cousins. Besides that, you would not find me in Roseland, my boy. But we're gonna go back to you, Dante. What was your overall feel of yesterday's game?
I'm with Bang. I felt good because one thing we want to see them do is beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And that has not been a staple of Chicago Bears football. Like they will go in against the worst team in the league and play like dog shit. So
Nick, we got to ask me about we lost that damn Broncos game last year.
Oh, yeah,
it's terrible. Yeah, perfect example. And then, like you said, that first 3 and out, you were nervous. You're like, oh shit, here we go. But no, they picked it right back up. Caleb made some really good throws. He's getting better with his accuracy down the field. He only had 9 incompletions. And I think this is really what we want to see. Obviously, it's the Panthers, so I agree when I say I don't put too much on it, even though Jaden Daniels has been beating up on bums and y'all acting like he's the greatest nigga ever, but we're not gonna talk about that. But he really got into his groove, didn't make too many mistakes. Once again, we saw the command at the line of scrimmage. He knows this offense, you know. We may not always be happy with the play calls, but I mean, he's taken command of this offense and really made it his own. And we saw the chemistry with DJ. That's what we've been wanting to see. This was really the first game that you saw them two on the same page consistently. And even though I think at the end of the game, he missed them again for it. So like they could have had another touchdown. But I mean, seeing them build that rapport was dope. Seeing Keenan get back out there was dope. And yeah, like I said, more than anything, it's because we are so used to the Bears playing down to their competition. Going into this game, seeing them actually just take care of business. And after that first quarter, the game was pretty much over. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to see.
Yeah, and think you know, it's the number one thing I hate in sports, not just with the Bears, not just in football, but in sports. I hate when you play a bad team, and then when you beat said bad team, people say, "Oh, but it was so and so." You're supposed to beat them. If you're going up against a Huff team, you're supposed to treat that Huff team like the Huff team that they are. And the reason why I think it also doesn't matter, he's a rookie. These are NFL squads. We just saw the Panthers. The Panthers just beat the Bengals. Now, I still think that the Bengals are only they're 1-4 right now. I still think they're better than what their record are. So, you know, whatever. But it's Joe Burrow and them. So they beat them. You know, they've been competitive since Andy Dalton became the starter. It was straight up beatdown. If the Bears would have barely won or lost, we wouldn't have heard the end of it. So that's why I don't want to hit that, number one. Number two, like you just said, Dante, Jaden Daniels, and I'm not trying to hit a hate. I like Jaden Daniels. I'm a fan of Jaden Daniels. I think the boy, I think he's good. And two, I think he's gonna be a real solid quarterback, but he gets praise for beat I don't think one team he's beat has won more than one game. So y'all prop him up for doing that. But when Caleb does it, and I know Mikey's not here, and I'm like, oh, people hate Caleb. That's exactly what we saw. I turned on national TV this morning to see what the national view was, and I thought it was decent. But there's some people, oh, it was the Panthers. We both do the Panthers, but their loss has been a problem. So that's why I don't want to hear that. It's the NFL. You know, blowouts don't happen like that. That this is a team that, you know, they're bad, but they did what they're supposed to do. If they'd have won this game 20-17. We wouldn't be sitting here with the same optimism. Man, when you're Caleb Williams and you're a rookie and your fifth start, these are still guys that are grown men. You know what I'm saying? And that's just really what it comes down to. The Bears tax is a very real thing, man. But I want to talk about, you know, a couple weeks ago, we were on here and we were talking about, man, should we change expectations for the season? You know, the way things are looking. And, you know, Mikey stood 10 toes down. Like, I ain't changing shit. Like, I'm keeping same amount of wins I had. You know, it's a little rough right now. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. I bitched out a little bit. I dropped my wins down a couple. I'm here to tell y'all people the season's back on, folks.
Oh, you back up.
The season's back on. And what am I hangover? We are back. What they say on Hangover, that's what we are. We are back. I'm not gonna put too much dip on my chip over this win, but it's less about the win and more I see how you're playing. Caleb's getting better. Shane Waldron's getting better. The defense, and we're gonna get into all this and more unique detail in just a minute. But it feels like everything's coming together. And if we go off how everything has been with this team, you know what I'm saying? Dante, you funny as hell. If you look at if you look at everything that's been going on with this team from literally OTAs, it follows the same order or same flow. OTA started, Caleb started a little slow. Rookie mini camp, mandatory mini camp. It was a whole thing of cadence. Training camp started off a little rusty, and then he gets better. Each week you're seeing he's getting better. And I feel like the weight of the Bears in general is just their shoulders just feel so much lifted by winning these last two games. Because I said on the show 2 weeks ago when they lost to Indianapolis, I was like, there's a big difference between 2-2 and 1-3. And I really think the Bears knew that. And this is why I got to give Eberflus a little bit of credit. If we going to sit up here and shit on him as much as we do, and rightfully so, you got to give him credit. That locker room really likes Eberflus. No matter how Bears fans feel, that locker room love Flus. They respect Flus. This is not a situation where at the end of Nagy's tenure, niggas like, man, shut your lame ass up. No, they rock with Flus, man. I really think that Flus, the way he's going about stuff is good. He is learning step by step. Now, we're really going to see who Flus is, who Shane Waldron is in the gauntlet of hell, as I've been calling it. That's what the next month is about, preparing for the gauntlet of hell. That's when no. That's when you scheming up. That's when you know who has the bad coach, who has the bad offensive coordinator. Because you're ranking NFC North, the not quarterbacks, but coaches and offensive coordinators, both Flus and Shane Waldron coming dead last. So that's what really figured out. But I gotta love how they've adjusted and really backed up, and also love what I heard in the post game. Caleb said it, DJ said it. Flus said it in the locker room. The guy's like, yeah, we won, but there's a lot of stuff on the tape that we messed up, and we're gonna have to look at on that ride to London. Also, last thing too, what I love, they're flying to London tonight. 5 years ago, they flew on a Friday, and then if you watch that game, it looked like they got flown out on a Friday. And Dante, you were there. You know how terrible it looked. There we go. That was me.
Nigga, last year, 2019, I got there before the Bears got there. That's how bad it was. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with this whole we're gonna be comfortable and practice at Hallis Hall. No, get your ass to London and get used to what you got to go through.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, they're leaving today, and I thought they were leaving on Tuesday. I got the practice schedule. I was like, oh, I won't be there on Wednesday, but y'all enjoy that. But that's good. They'll get a full week. They're gonna be able to practice in London, get on the sleeping schedule, get their whole bodies ready. And you're going up against the team at Jacksonville. And we're actually gonna preview the Jacksonville game today. We're gonna do a full week 6 preview as well, since we will not be on the air on Friday. But Jacksonville's been doing this every year. They're like the home team, even though this is gonna be a Bears home game. Like, Dante, you know better than me, but I heard there's a lot of Bears fans in London. So
the brand is very strong in London.
The brand is very strong in London, and there's gonna be a lot of Chicago niggas. I know 15 niggas alone myself who going, so I know it's gonna be a lot in there. But Bang, my question to you, I know you said you were still sticking with your win total, but is the season back on for those who doubt it?
I think for those who doubt it, they're gonna wait till that Washington game. There's gonna be people, if the Bears win on the Sunday, they're still going to be like, yeah, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars and stuff. So I think if the Bears win this game, they come into the game with the Commanders, 4-2. So they win that game, and that's when I think people are going to turn the corner. But right now, it's still going to be some skeptics out there.
Dante, what's your feel on that?
It's back. I think, I am 60-40 on it being back. This 5-game stretch is going to determine if it's back or not. Because if we go 4-1, then my 12 wins is still very much attainable. But I do think this is a stretch where you have to see this team get into a rhythm offensively. Because I I'm at the point now where I can say with confidence, I'm not worried about the defense. They're gonna do their
Yeah.
thing.
Top
They
10
haven't given up.
defense.
Yeah, they haven't given up more than what 16 points. What's the most points we've given up this year? It's
I
not
think
a
it
lot.
was the Houston
20,
game, right?
Houston, yeah.
20, a dub, and I'm fine. I'm like an NFL offense should be able to score 21 points. So if my defense gives up a dub, I'm cool with that. So at this point, this is the stretch for the offense to really get into a rhythm, and I think they're gonna do that. So for me, the season is definitely back on. I think 12-5 is very attainable because of the defense and because of Caleb. I mean, he's not getting the national praise that we want him to get, but as I always say, as local fans compared to national fans, we're watching every snap. So you really get to see the progression. And if you're being objective about it, Caleb has gotten better every game. Like
Every game.
flat out. It's nothing you can say to deny that. He's gotten better every game. And that's all we wanted to see. I know we wanted to see him come out quick and really light it up. That's cool. He didn't do that, but at the same time, sitting here at 3-2 with the opportunity to go 4-2, headed into the bye, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. So I think the season's definitely back on. And like, if you're a Bears fan, you should really be excited. When's the last time? Obviously, Justin and Mitch have both had their game where they lit a bum ass team up. We've seen that the last two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But just seeing the way he's handled things and he's processed things, like I don't understand how you could be a Bears fan and not really be excited about what you've seen from Caleb, because he's giving you everything that we expected to get from him.
I've got a couple stats. One, you brought up the defense. Here's some defensive stats for you. The Monsters of the Midway are back. They're first in the NFL in fumbles, second in passing touchdowns allowed, third in interceptions,
Talk your shit.
fifth in points allowed, seventh in total passing yards allowed. They're eighth in sacks, ninth in total yards allowed. 11 games in a row of 21 or less allowed points. And only 32 second half points have been allowed in the year 2024. That is for the defense, man, and how they've been doing, man. You talk about Caleb, and that's a perfect way to get into it. Caleb's passer rating each game. If you start off from week 1 against the Titans, he had a 55.7 passer rate. Week 2 against Houston, 51.0 passer rating. Week 3 against Indianapolis, 80.8. Week 4 against the Rams, 106.6. This week, 126.2 passer rating. And that's just good right there. And Alex says number 1 rushing defense last year. Yeah, if there's anything I can nitpick the defense on, I want to see them get a little bit more cleaned up on the rushing defense. But this defense is incredible, and we're going to get into the actual defensive line in a minute, but I want to talk about Caleb's performance in general, man. Caleb, this is his best effort. Now, he has over 1,000 yards already. 5 games into the season, Caleb Williams always has 1,091 yards. He has 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This is second 300-yard passing game in 5 weeks. Do you know how many 300-yard passing games that Justin Fields not only had with the Bears but has in his career? Do y'all know the number of that?
Women, say that again.
Justin Fields, how many 300-yard passing games does he have in his career?
1.
2.
Bang, hit on the head. 2. He's got 1 against he has 1 with the Bears. He threw for 320 something last year against Denver, where he had 4
last
touchdowns.
Week. Yeah.
And remember they lost that game. He threw a crazy interception. And then last week against Indiana. So both of those games come in losses. Caleb already has his second in 5 games. That's incredible. He went 20-29, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. Would have been more if DJ would have caught that gimme of a first down, which DJ said in the press conference he was trash for that. I just love what I'm seeing for Caleb. I think that I've even seen some people who are very pro Justin saying, "Oh, what Ice Cube son saying straight out Compton? My bad. I must be tripping." Like, everybody's starting to come around. And like I said, he's a rookie. I'm not saying he's not ever going to mess up again. I'm not saying there's not going to be a game when he don't look like a rookie again. There's going to be better defensive lines he's going to face. There's going to be better defenses he's going to face. Jacksonville stinks, but their defensive line is way better than we saw in Carolina. I mean, that offensive line for the Bears looked like the 90s Cowboys. That's how bad that pass rush was. You know what I'm saying? And it gave him a lot of time. But the fact you're seeing it and he's getting better and better each week. His command of the line is like, this is not hyperbole. It looks real Tom Brady-ish, real Drew Brees, real Peyton Manning. For a rookie in his fifth grade game to have that much control of the offense, I think it's amazing. And now that him and DJ are finally clicking, the deep balls are clicking, it should start to get real scary, man. That's why I love to see. And Keenan Allen, I know that Hill's on fire is going to be like that probably for the rest of the year, but he had a good game. And I complained last week about not spreading the ball out a lot. They spread the ball out, man, and Caleb knows where he wants to go. He's scanning the field, which I haven't seen from a Bears quarterback, and I can't even tell you when last time I seen a Bears quarterback scour the field like that. And I just really love what I'm seeing, and there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this kid is it. I'm giddy when I watch it, like, and that's just something that is rare, man. Bane, what'd you think about Caleb's performance last night?
I thought it was good. No, I give him a B plus. Mainly because it's the Panthers. But you want to know what I love about his performance? He was picking on the best player.
Yeah,
like he was going after Horn. He was on his ass. And normally, especially as a rookie quarterback, you will see people that will try to stay away from the best player, especially if it's a cornerback. You'll typically see them stray away from that person. So this definitely could have been a Rome Odunze or a Keenan Allen game, or even a Cole Kmet game. But I said last week, and I meant that this was going to be a DJ Moore game. DJ Moore was going to get over 100. I said 125. I was wrong by 20 yards.
It would have been 25 if he caught that third down.
Exactly, if he would have caught that third down. But that's what I loved about the performance. He was aggressive enough to go after the best player on that defense. He was not going away from J.C. Horn. Outside of that, he was pretty accurate. The yardage, also, if you look at the record books, I think he has the most 300-yard games by a rookie quarterback in Bears history. Look how much it took for that to happen. Oh my God. Wow. That just shows you the lack of quarterbacks that we've had.
Incompetence.
Right. So with that being said, man, I thought it was a good performance. A B plus makes me excited for the rest of the way. This was what he needed for his confidence building.
Dante, what you think about Caleb's performance last night?
It was great. I give him a B plus. I think, it's one of those things where we just talk about him getting comfortable, him just adjusting to the speed of the NFL game. I think, he had his Justin moment. You know how Justin was saying shit was kind of slow. I remember on Hard Knocks when Caleb was like, practice is harder than the game when they played Buffalo in their preseason game. So I think those first couple of games with him really getting acclimated to what's really going down, and you're not playing against practice squad guys and guys that's not going to make the fucking team no more. These are the ones. And so I think he's having an adjustment. And one thing we know about people who have been, labeled as phenoms who actually have that talent, they adjust quick. And it's kind of like with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA this year. Like, first half of the season, you saw her struggling, but then eventually the speed is slowed down for her. She was like, oh, no, I can really do my thing. And she started cooking. And I think that's what we're starting to see with Caleb. This 5-game stretch helps us because these teams aren't as good as the teams we're going to play on the back end of the schedule. But at the same time, this is perfect because it's what you want to see from a guy like Caleb. We need to see him in a rhythm. And these teams that we're playing now will help him, further, show even more of the grasp he has on the offense. And being, when you're playing against a team that's not as good, you can catch things and be like, okay, now we're going to run this hot route. We're going to do this. We're going to call out of this play. So seeing him get comfortable doing that as we get into the tough part of our schedule is what I really want to see. So I think his performance was really good because what we want is to, again, and I know we talk about Mitch and Justin, but this is just a Chicago Bears problem. The playing down to your competition. That's something we've seen our entire lives, not even with the quarterbacks. So I think for him to sit here and light them up, like even with the Colts, like we should have won that game. They still had an opportunity to win that game. But I mean, what you saw Sunday is what you want to see against a team you're supposed to beat. Stay in the pocket, doing your thing. He's making passes. He's spreading the ball around. He's going through his reads. Like you said, we saw the last 2 quarterbacks we've had have been one read quarterbacks. So to see a guy and you can actually see him snap his head to like 1, 2, 3. All right, back
Yeah.
to 1. Like that's something different, and it's great to see. And so I think, like I said, his performance, I give him a B plus, and I think you're gonna start to see more of this because I mean, at the end of the day, the talent is undeniable. You know it's there. You know the arm is there. You know the processing is there. You know the pocket presence is there. So it's really about what we do around him and how we set up for these games. And so it's looking good, bro. I was actually again, I know it's the Panthers, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but I was really excited about what I saw last night.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm not taking it with a grain of salt, whatever. Because if it's because not the reason I say I'm not because you look at the other at the Colts game, that team stinks too. That defense stinks as well, and he threw 300 yards of stuff I liked. He did good, but he was looking real. It was a mixed bag. I think Bang, you said yesterday, you said in the group chat, this is a good 300-yard game. That's why I'm
Yeah.
not taking it with a grain of salt because these are still NFL teams, and he's a rookie. Like he was like year 2, year 3. I'm like, all right, this is Panthers. Like, but he's a rookie. All this stuff is new to him. So that's why I'm not really like, oh, it's a Panthers. Like, nah, man, I loved what I saw. Now, you got to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to give you praise for this. And you go out there and you stick the joint up in London and, you got a lot of good games coming up. But I just love to see how I see where it's going, man. And I want to talk about his pace too. He's on pace for 4,000 yards right now, which be the number 1 in Bears franchise history, and he's on pace for 22 touchdowns. Everybody, CJ Stroud's standard. That would be one more passing touchdown than CJ Stroud had last year. So that would be good as well. Let's talk about Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron got a lot of the heat over really since the season started, rightfully so. This offense did not come out the way any of us expected. A lot of the play calling didn't make sense. I started to notice the change in Shane Waldron in the second half of the Indianapolis game, where the plays started to make more sense. He did a really solid game plan last week. I think the game plan last week was not to do too much, to make sure that, it's kind of like not really a game manager, but I think the emphasis was just to not mess up, to do our game. And this week, I feel like he opened it up a little bit, a lot more deep shots. Everybody kept circling those terrible graphs, and I really hate what all 22 and passing sheets and wide receiver sheets have done. Those are not for regular fans. I'll stand on that on that soapbox, man. Like, y'all don't even know what you're looking at. So you have everybody doing that, and now it looks that taking the deep shots. DJ looks great. He's learning. There really wasn't any. Maybe a play or two that I didn't like, but offensive coordinator, especially in today's overthinking era. You can see that from college all the way down. It's not going to be perfect, but I think he's really, really stepped up. He's dedicated to the run. I think they ran the ball 32 times yesterday, which was really great as a team. Yeah, they carried it 30. If you take away Caleb's 5 carries, they had 34 carries between the running backs with DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson. I love Roschon Johnson being the goal line back. I'm glad they were able to get DeAndre his because he really, really dominated on that one drive, and the referees took one of his touchdowns away. They gave it back to him. I love the Doug Kramer thing. Do what you got to do. Make that be your tush push. Do what you got to do to get the ball in the end zone. I think getting that running game, especially when it gets colder and colder in Chicago. I know Caleb mentioned the wind in the post game. It's going to get worse. I just really loved how it came. And I give Shane Waldron, I give him a strong B for what I saw. I feel like he's growing as well. As much as we talk about that Caleb is a rookie, this is the first time he's worked with a rookie. And I really think that Bears fans, I know the thing I always like to say is we're not happy unless we got something to complain about. But if we're going to be over here dumping on Flus, dumping on Waldron, we got to give credit to them when they actually do good things as well. I didn't see any bad timeouts from Flus yesterday. I thought that both of them really handled it. Bane, what would you give? What would you think about Waldron's game plan, and what grade would you give him?
I'll give Waldron an A. He had a lot to make up for. I would give him an A. We didn't see any random ass screens that was going on. You saw the difference in the offensive line in this game, and I'm not necessarily going to say it's because the pass rush for the Panthers was huff because they got through a couple of times. But Caleb just has a pocket awareness that is unlike something that we've seen in years for the Chicago Bears. In fact, I have not seen a quarterback with the pocket awareness that Caleb Williams has had in the Bears uniform ever. Like he's willing to sit in the pocket and get out if needed, but he's willing to sit in the pocket. But it just seems like that the team was very well prepared. You didn't see a lot of pre-snap penalties like you did in that Houston game and in that Indianapolis game. So the team looked like it was very well prepared. And then the game plan in general, you saw people getting around. Like it wasn't stagnant like we saw those first 2 weeks of the year. And even a little bit in that Rams game last week too. But we did start to see some improvement. So I will give Waldron an A because it seems like this was the most prepared Bears team on the offensive side that I've seen in a while.
Dante, man, what you think about Waldron's performance yesterday?
I agree. I would give him an A. I think, you need to take advantage of these type of matchups. And like, this is really a game where it's like, okay, we should win this game. Let's get out here, set the tone, and really, have our way with this team. And that's exactly what the Bears did. I think, the Swift touchdown speaks to Flus being the player's coach, because after that first touchdown, when he got us down the field and they took him out and gave the ball to Roshan, I was like, I know he pissed.
Yeah,
Like,
he was. Swift was pissed.
He was hot.
He was hot.
I
saw.
Yeah.
He took that chin strap off, pissed.
Yeah,
he was like,
it's like, no, fam, I done got us all the way down this motherfucker, and then y'all not gonna let me score. So, at the end of the second half, when they kept him in and they kept giving him the ball, I'm like, okay, this is what you do. This is how you really build your guys up. So I think that was a really good game plan against that defense, and this is what we want to see. We need to see you again putting your best players in the position to succeed, and that's something we've seen over the last 2.5 weeks, where it's really like the formation's just been, okay, I got my 3 best receivers out here. I got Cole over there. It hasn't been a lot of the mix and match, and we're going to try to bring Valus in and run a reverse and all this other dumb shit. We're not doing that. Put your highest paid players on the field and let them perform. And that's what you're seeing. So I think that was a really good game plan. I was excited about what I saw. And that's what you want to do in terms of building momentum. That was the perfect game for that, putting up 36, I'm sorry. And you put up 36 and you have potential for more. That's the thing. They could have put up 40. They could have easily put up 40.
Yep.
So that's promising. And I think that's just what you want to see going forward. Just that positive momentum and putting your offensive players in a position to succeed, because you know what the defense is going to do. Like, if you can go out there, like if this team can go out there and score 21 to 24 points, it's damn near not a game we can't win.
Yeah,
like,
if they put up 24 a game, this team is going to be very, very hard to beat.
Very hard to beat.
That defense ain't letting you score more than 21, bro. It's just not going to happen. And for those, this 7, and I think the thing that stood out to me is look how they defended CJ Stroud and Matthew Stafford. Say what you want about that team. Like, CJ been throwing darts, nigga. Like, some of the pass this nigga threw last night against the Bills was crazy. They had CJ in check. CJ threw one. Did CJ even throw a touchdown? He threw one. And Nico Collins. He threw one touchdown. And Matt Stafford in check. So I'm not really worried about that on a quarterback side. That's what's good to me. And that's why if they can score 21, put up 21 a game. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be very hard to beat. Like Alex said, that the clipping play. Yep. First of all, that has been called on the Bears in 21 years, number one. It was just a bad play call. Caleb should have had his rushing touchdown. And one thing I also love, too, I know Caleb doesn't like running, but he used his feet yesterday. He got out of a couple situations, but one thing I got run out of bounds, dog. Like, when there was one play he got knocked over, we don't need you to be doing any of that.
Well, he did that dumbass spin. Dumbass spin, and it was like, it was 3rd and 14, bro. It's like, no, just slide, bro.
Yeah, slide, bro. So he got to get better on that, but that wasn't bad. One last thing before we move on to the Jaguars game. I want to talk about this defensive line. The reason I want to talk about this defensive line is because this was something that was a big question mark. It was my biggest question mark coming into the season was Montez Sweat getting help. And that has been something where it has not been a problem. This team is 8th in sacks already. They've had at least 2 sacks a game. Last night they had 4 sacks. It's not just Tez. In fact, Tez hasn't really had a monster game yet. He's been dominating for sure. He's still been doing Tez things, but there's been other guys who've been shining. DeMarcus Walker told us during camp that last year it was a bad year because he wasn't healthy. He said, I wasn't myself last year. And he's looking like that was right. He's out there hooping. You're getting love from your young bucks. You know what I'm saying? Austin Booker. got a sack last night. And there's 2 trades that Ryan Poles made at the beginning of the season that I don't feel like it's getting enough love. Chris Williams, Darrell Taylor, both of those dudes are balling. Darrell Taylor just brings a different attitude off that edge. He plays CTE ball, and Chris Williams gives me the Andrew Billings effect where he plays so well that you don't hear his name like that because he's playing so well. And they all complement each other. And I love the blitz that you're getting from the secondary. Kyler Gordon, who is the most underrated nickel in the league, in my opinion. He's playing at an all-pro level. Jaquan Brisker, I said on this show last year. I'm gonna take my shades off of this one. Jaquan, I'm sorry. And if I said on this show last October, I said, what did Jaquan Brisker do well? Remember I said that, man? You like, what was that come? And you know what I'm saying? I apologize, Jaquan. You are that guy. That hit last night that you put on Buddy, I almost had a tear. That's what that nigga
put that nigga to sleep.
Well, you go look at that hit again.
I watched it multiple times.
He trucked Brisker ass. He just took the brunt of of it.
No,
he got low.
That was some high quality CTE ball right there.
Yeah, that's like you might get trucked, but you gonna knock a nigga down. Like what Marshawn Lynch said, I might get got.
I think Brisker just played it off better because Buddy fell asleep. Brisker laid down and then got back up like, yeah, nigga, yeah.
Brisker fell like this. He was like, oh, is he? That's why I touched y'all like, yo, is Brisker okay? But that nigga dead. Like that nigga dead.
Yeah, so, my bad, Jaquan. I wasn't familiar with your game. That is what you call, that's what you want to see from your strong safety. Knocking niggas out. And then Kevin Byard. I don't know, man. He been balling. He been ball every place he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, finally got an interception yesterday, even though Andy Dalton threw it right to that nigga. But this defensive line is dominant, and I still do think they need one more piece to take it to elite. But there's not a weakness on this defense to me right now. Man, what you think about more specifically what you've been seeing from the defensive line this year?
I told y'all in the special, Dexter is my key. If Dexter is who he's supposed to be at that 3 tech, then we gonna be all right. Who name do you hear every game? Gervon Dexter Sr. So I am very excited about what we've been seeing from him. Billings even got him a sack yesterday. He's been playing well. Like you said, Williams has been playing well. Taylor has a motor out this world. He is always around the ball. Montez Sweat ain't been getting the sacks that we thought he would get, but you have to account for him. And since you have to account for him, you see the other players moving. Even heard Austin Booker name yesterday. So that defensive line, oh man, look, we need one more piece, and we got a 2nd round pick that we can flirt around. There's probably going to be a couple of teams before Election Day that might be looking to move some pieces around. I think you can flirt that number 2 from the Carolina Panthers, considering what you see. And if you do it, I think we got somebody. We got something on that defensive line.
Yeah, this is my thing with that. I think we are falling into the trap that Chicago fans always fall into, where we go defense. We still need to fix this offensive line. So, like, as far as I'm concerned with right now, I'm not moving that 2nd round pick unless it's fucking Micah Parsons. Like, I'm just not. I don't give a fuck who you bring me.
They better not get no random ass nigga from goddamn
but no, like,
New England.
Even a Max Crosby, like, based off what we need and what we have, I'm tired of doing the traditional Chicago Bears, let's have a great defense thing. Like, I want to fix the offensive line. So, like, with that being said, I'm pleasantly surprised because they've done it by committee. You've had a rotation. Austin Booker, he was got a lot of hype out of preseason. He's made a couple plays, and he's somebody who still has to develop. But I think more than anything, the fact that when you have been able to get the success you had with this mix, without pretty much only Montez is the name that we know. It's not a lot of known guys on this defensive line, but they've been able to make it work. And if they can continue to do this as the season goes on, I think if anything, that gives you confidence to stand pat with what you got, and then keep those assets, and you can assess it at the end of the season. So for me, just because what we know about this offensive line, and even though, like I said, they had a good game, but I mean, it's the Panthers. They banged up. We're gonna see how they go next week in London. I think I am too concerned with the O-line to sit here and give pieces away without fixing that offensive line. But I agree. I think it may be somebody out there, but that second round pick, I'm keeping that, because I think next year, first round, second round, you go offensive line, no questions asked. Like 10 out of 10, that's what you got to do. But I've been surprised by this defensive line, and I think, it's one of those things where we're betting on guys that we drafted to have breakout years, and they've actually done that with Montez there, hitting, and that added, people have to pay attention to him. It's not just, okay, we can go one up with everybody. Sometimes he gets doubled. That lets other guys go free. You said Javon Dexter's having a great year, and I'm really excited to see where he pushes that. But right now, that D-line has been one of the best in the league, and we didn't expect that at all.
Hey, Dante, I'm with you, man. Like, I think, like, getting another defensive lineman, that's something I worry about in free agency. I'm not trading that pick for that. I think all your resources go to the offensive line. That Panthers pick, which is going to damn near be a first rounder, your first rounder. And, you know what I'm saying, in free agency, offensive line. Offensive line. Like Shane O'Mac said, I don't care if they pick a lineman. If every pick's a lineman in the draft, do it. You saw last night what Kid looks like when he gets protection. Put some dogs around that boy. Tevin Jenkins, I hate to say it, you're done. You're done. He's a good dude. I ain't got a problem with Tevin, but the last 2 weeks he got hurt, and I ain't noticed no drop off in the offensive line when he came out. This is how bad Nate Davis is. Matt Pryor looks like a godsend. Bill Murray looks like a godsend. That's how bad Nate Davis was. So yeah, they gotta.
Well, that had me rolling when they had to say, like, yo, no, not Bill Murray, the actor. This is Bill Murray, the football player. I was like, yo, this is definitely fresh out of the creative player after like the first draft on Madden. But I want to say this real quick. So I agree with you all. If you trade that second pick, it has to be somebody. But I think that depending on where you're picking in the first round, hey, that's going to be your center of your guard right there. And you're going to have to go through free agency, as y'all see me, blowing up this basketball because my son got tryouts. So I got to be a good dad while I'm podcasting
real black
at the same
fatherhood.
time. Real black fathers, real black dads. If a Max Crosby or if a Max Crosby or a Micah Parsons is available, more Max Crosby than Micah Parsons, because the Cowboys is going to always think they're in it. You go out and get that man. If you could get that man for less than that too, that's cool. If you could get him for 3, that's even better. But you need that help right now. And you can go out, and depending on if Ian Cunningham gets gets a job and stuff too, you can also have a situation where you're going to get some compensatory picks.
I thought we was going to get that Justin Fields pick, but we'll talk about that in Overreaction Monday.
Oh, we ain't getting that shit.
We are not getting that pick. We'll talk about that in Overreaction Monday in just a minute, man. Let's wrap up the local hour with our Bears Jaguars preview. Since we will not be here on Friday, we're going to break the game down. If you missed this, I will be chopping this up as a clip, and we'll be dropping that clip on Friday, or YouTube will be dropping on Friday. I'll be in some pub in London getting towed up on Friday. But it will be up there just as well as our week 6 picks, which we're going to do in hour 2. But Bears, Jaguars in London at the I would say it's new. It's only been around 5 years. The Bears were the first team to play at the new Tottenham Stadium in London. Them and the Raiders, that first game, they opened up Tottenham Stadium. I know that they have a lot of soccer rivalries out there. Shout out our boy Tosin. Shout out our producer Nikhil. Both of them said they'd rather die than to walk into Tottenham. So I'm guessing there's some rivalry between their soccer clubs. So that's just really, I'm looking forward to it. Jaguars finally got their first dub last night over the Indianapolis Colts in a game that they almost lost. Trick off Trev looked alive yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I think that this is gonna be a good game. I think that the Bears should win this. I think the Bears will win this. I think this is going to be a different test for the Bears. Now, if you look at all the defensive rankings, they are top 10 rushing defense, the Jaguar. So we're going to really, really see if Shane Waldron and DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson have figured out the rushing, because you're going up against last 2 weeks. You went through with a bottom rushing defense, you're going up against top 10 rushing defense. Now, passing defense, overall defense, they're still like 29 30th when I just checked 5 minutes ago. So there's still plays to be had. That offense stinks. They're gonna get a couple off Trick off Trev. I think they might get a couple picks. They're gonna get to him. But one person you gotta watch in the pass rush, Travon Walker. He is first in sacks right now. In at his position with 3 sacks. Oh, this was yesterday. He had 3 sacks yesterday, 7 pressures yesterday, and he had a 90.3 PFF grade. So he's gonna bring some heat. But the good thing is that Caleb Williams has been really, really good against the blitz. The last couple weeks, he struggled against that the first 2 games of the season against Indianapolis and against the Houston Texans. But over the last 2 games, he is 17 of 19, 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 turnover-worthy plays against the blitz. So there's things they're learning right there. I think that, first of all, I'm happy that the Jaguars won yesterday. I did not want to deal with the looking for our first win desperation. So I'm glad they got out of the way. I know Doug Peterson is going to be playing for his job, but I think this offense is going to take another step. I think the defense I feel like the better this offense gets, the better the defense gets. And I say that because now they know that they got points behind it. You know what I'm saying? Now they know that, okay, now we can take to another level because we got a guy back there who can sling it. And my score for this game, I'm going to say, I'm not going to go, I don't think they're going to score 30 again. But I'm going to go 24-14 Bears over the Jaguar. I think this will be a very competitive game. But I think at the end, the defense is going to close it out. And I think that the offense is going to look pretty solid. And they're going to continue to grow from last week. And then they're going to be heading 4-2. Heading to the bye. Bang, tell me how you got this game against the Jaguars going and what your score is going to be.
So first off, I do have a big worry for this game, and it comes from the running game. Bigsby looked real good yesterday and has been looking real good. Pause on all of that. So if there's any trepidation I have, it is the run defense. That is not as strong as it was last year. And if they let that man go off, this could be a long day. That being said, I have the Bears winning 30-17. Trick off Trev is going to have 2 turnovers in that game. And this is going to be, I'm going to say, if today's or yesterday's game wasn't the coming out party, next week is going to be the game where everybody says, okay, let's start talking about Caleb for 2 reasons. One, because he's going to have a good game against the Jaguars. But 2, the promotion for the next game is going to have to start. The promotion when it comes to 1 versus 2, Heisman versus Heisman.
I got some for that. Overreaction Monday.
Like all of that stuff. Yeah, that promotion starts as soon as the 12 o'clock game starts.
Is that a CBS game or is that Fox?
I think it's CBS.
It might be NFL Network. Like usually the London games.
No, I'm not talking about London. I'm talking about the Jaden game. The Bears, the London game's NFL Network. It's Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner on the call.
Hold on.
I think that's. I know it's a noon game for sure. So I don't know if that's CBS. 27. No, they're not going to flex the game because the Cowboys are playing the 49ers that weekend. So there'll be no flexing of that one. Dante, how you got the this game going on? Shane O'Mac says it's CBS. Is that Tony Romo or something? Okay.
Yeah, that's Romo. I'm gonna be selfish. I'm not gonna lie. Based off what I experienced in 2019, they better go over there and blow them the fuck out. Like, I took that 8-hour flight and watched Chase Daniels try to beat the Oakland Raiders.
I forgot. Mitch didn't even play.
No, he got hurt. So no, it was terrible. But nah, I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think, like you said, Jacksonville, despite their struggles, they still have some talent on that team. So, we talk about how this is a week by week league. So we know they're not going to just fly over there and fold. But at the same time, I would love to see a 30-13 Bears victory. Like, I think I'm really gonna go with my heart on this one. I'm not gonna go on anything I've seen just based off what I want to happen. Caleb goes across the pond, and I mean the NFL has already placed him as one of the next big guys and somebody they're gonna really push. And this is an opportunity for him to have a big game on the national stage. And so, 9:30 a.m. game here in America, prime time overseas. And Scott, you'll see it when you get there, but like the atmosphere around these games is really dope because you have a lot of people who just legitimately love football and they haven't really been tainted in the same way that us as American fans have been. So like you'll get people who are there, they're just legit excited, just yelling for every play, and half of them don't know what the fuck going on. You're gonna have a lot of Bear fans, but you're gonna have some people who just love football. So I think in that atmosphere, I think with the Jaguars struggling. They got the dub this week, but this is starting a 2-week run for them over there in London. I think they're gonna go 0 for 2, but I think the Bears are gonna take care of business 30-13. I think Caleb has continued to improve every week, and I think he's going to be even better across the pond. And like I said, I just love the fact that they're leaving today and not on fucking Friday. That was idiotic when you really think about it. That was so stupid.
Nagy.
That was dumb, but I mean the fact that they're getting over there, getting acclimated. So like even if you leaving today, even if you want to go party, you can go party a little bit and then bring your ass back to the team hotel, and you still got a couple days to get right and get ready for the game. So I think I'm gonna go 30-13 Bears, and it's gonna be a great time over there.
I'm not looking forward to the flight, but I am very giddy for this trip.
Oh, nigga, I'm gonna be in Delta One, nigga. I'm gonna enjoy that.
Yeah,
flight.
we know that. This nigga gonna have his own cubicle. Like he gonna be doing his
thing. You gonna close the door on your ass? You gonna close the door and shit?
Yeah, I'm not gonna have a cubicle.
I've already selected my meal. The short ribs will be amazing. You feel me? Like it's gonna be a hell of a trip.
I still get a meal. I still get the wine and joints. I'm gonna be buying other stuff because I will be very intoxicated on that flight. But hopefully, all I ask is for an aisle seat. If I gotta pay for an aisle seat, then hey, I'll do what I gotta do. But I'm just not a middleman. I don't like.
I'm not gonna lie. Last time I went, because I was in Delta One, but like we had the dinner. I popped the 50 milligram edible. Red wine. And I woke up in London, boy. I had a hell of a trip. I can't lie to you.
Did you go straight there or did you have like a layover?
Yeah, no, I had a direct flight. I had a direct flight from Atlanta, so it was like 8 hours. So,
yeah, I got an hour layover in my favorite city in America. That is New York City. I wish it was a longer layover so I could walk around for a little bit, but it's an hour. And if anybody knows anything about JFK, let's go to the bathroom, nigga, right back in line.
Have a seat, nigga.
Right. Yeah, it's not long at all. So, like I said, there'll be no show on Friday. We'll be back on Monday, man. So we're going to take a quick 1-minute break. On the other side, we're going to have the quickest MLB weekend recap you've ever seen because Mikey and Courtney are not here, but we still got to talk a couple things about that. We'll get into Overreaction Monday. Top stories from week 5, and then we're going to do a week 6 preview, man. So we'll be right back in a minute.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for hour 2 here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. Me, Dante, and Bang holding it down. Man, MLB playoffs is currently underway, man. The division series, we previewed that on Friday. We currently have a pitchers duel going on in Cleveland between the Guardians and the Detroit Tigers right now. They're in the bottom of the 7th. On top of the 8th, no score. Tariq Skubal is pitching out a shutout, man. Nice pitchers duel going on. But during the weekend, what was a crazy sports weekend? Great college football. It was a day of upsets. on Saturday. A lot of people out there thought the University of Miami was going to lose Saturday night. A lot of people were wrong. A lot of people were texting me for a couple hours, and then when I text them back, niggas don't know how to use their phone no more. Just want to put that out there. Number one, they came back and beat California, beat Cal last night. Beat them that night. Big comeback. Michael Irvin must have been on something. I've never seen a nigga watch a game Indian style. Or not even. I don't even know what that was. I only know that was a whatever.
Pause. He was on all fours, nigga. You can say it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all
yeah,
right.
he was definitely wilding. He was doing a little bit too much. That man was on all fours arch, fam. Yeah, he was tripping.
He was tripping. But then you have, of course, the good football games. Yeah, yesterday we'll get into a minute, but some good baseball games this week with the Guardians winning game 1, taking real light work of the Tigers. The Mets stole game 1 on Saturday. The Yankees beat the Royals in game 1. And then the Dodgers, Shohei had a great outing but performance in game 1, his first ever playoff game with that massive home run. And then in game 2, they got absolute mollywopped. And that's where I want to start. A lot of people last night saw a lot of people clutching their pearls. But what happened in the stands in Chavez Ravine between the fans of the Dodgers and Profar and the entire San Diego Padres. I just want to say this first. I am not condoning throwing anything on the field. I don't think you should throw anything on the field. These are human beings. Leave them alone. It's dangerous. Somebody can get hit in the head.
Yep.
I understand why Profile was upset. First of all, I don't know how a nigga got a ball into the stadium to begin with, but maybe he caught one of the foul balls and decided I'm gonna throw it at this nigga because he robbed Mookie Betts' home run and stared at us, which I thought was brilliant. First of all, this is if you've been to Dodger Stadium, LA is my second home. Decade there, love it out there. I am the Dodgers are my team right now to the White Sox get this shit together in 2045. I turned in my 10-year citizenship to be able to do that. This is if you've been to any Dodger game, that's any day that begins in Y. You can see that on a regular Tuesday against the Cincinnati Reds. So I'm not condoning it, but it's the worst fans in sports. By the way, that coming from Philadelphia fans is very rich in any sport. Y'all the same niggas that clapped when Michael Irvin's career ended on the floor. Like, what are we doing? Shut your mouth. This is a rivalry game. I seen a nigga get slumped in front of me when San Diego Padres debut Juan Soto in Sunday Night Baseball. I seen a nigga get slept. And then when I saw on the LA scanner, they said, there's fights breaking out in the parking lot of Dodger Stadium. I wonder how that happened. You know what I'm saying? I wonder, these dudes been drinking Modelo since 1 p.m. in that parking lot. This was going to happen. And so, like I said, I'm not condoning it. That's part of baseball. It's a good rivalry. I actually enjoy watching the fans get into it. You ain't got to involve the players in it, but I love how the San Diego Padres kind of rallied around it. Manny Machado, one of my favorite players, rallied the troops like, yo, let's stump on these niggas. Tatis, finally his first playoff run. I don't count 2020. 2 years ago, he wasn't doing that run because he was too busy doing steroids for like no reason, by the way, because the nigga's cold anyway. And he's out there, he's laughing at the crowd. I loved it, and I think these next 2 games in San Diego are going to be crazy, and I think the series is going to go all 5. And then the crazy game yesterday, which I missed all of it until the actual walk-off by Castellanos, game 2 between the Phillies and Mets, another division rivalry. Mets had them look like they were going to be up 2-0, and then Bryce Harper, who had defeated me last year. I no longer have any on-field hate for Bryce Harper. He is one of the best postseason performers of his generation. Home run got him back into it. Nick Castellanos, they came back and won that game. Now it's a 1-1 series. This has been a very, very competitive weekend. I really want to see if Detroit can get back into it. The Yankees play the Royals in game 2. Can they get back into it? What is going to look like? But Dante, what was your thoughts on this weekend's playoff games?
A lot of good baseball. My picks have not been, coming through so far. But especially with the Guardians, we see this is a tie game right now, but they really came out. I expected a lot of the teams that had the break to really struggle, but the Dodgers came out in game when it took care of business. I think the Guardians did as well. I think it's one of those things where the talent is still there. So I think last year you saw a lot of teams really complain about it, but I think this year, at least based off the results from game one, you saw a lot of teams who really prepared themselves for that break and said, okay, yeah, we got a week off, but we know what we got to do, and we have to be able to, come into these games and really pick up where we left off when we saw those teams do that. I think, as the playoffs continue to go, you're going to see a lot of good series. It's not going to be too many blowouts. It's not going to be too many series where like a team just gets swept. I'm not expecting that from any of these series because the talent, not only the talent is there, but these teams are pretty evenly matched. So you had a lot of people talking about before the MLB playoffs even started that, this was one of those years where anybody can win the World Series. And I think that Dodger Padres series is a perfect example of that, because either one of those teams that win that series could win the actual World Series. Like, they're that good. But we're going to just wait and see. But I mean, I think we have a lot of really, really good baseball ahead of us. And I'm excited for what we're going to see.
As somebody who has been to Dodger Stadium a couple times, what you think about the extracurricular activity we saw?
I was just about to say, as a nigga that's been kicked out of Dodger Stadium, it's Dodger Stadium, bro. Like, it's really a raucous
My
atmosphere.
nigga wear that as a badge of honor.
I do.
That's a good story starter.
It takes a lot to get kicked out of Dodger Stadium.
It really do, nigga. They let a lot of stuff slide.
We did it. But no, like, I wasn't shocked, especially with this rivalry, because San Diego and LA is one of those teams. It's not the Giants and the Dodgers, but I mean, over the last few years,
you'll see them get stabbed in the Giants Dodgers.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember when we were. I think we were in college when this happened, but the dude got beat. He got beat to the point he was paralyzed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like, no, that's a different rivalry. But I mean, Dodgers Padres over the last 2 years have been one of the biggest rivalries in the league. So I'm not surprised that a lot of this shit happened. The throwing stuff on the field is always corny, because it's like, bro, you there to be entertained. You're not there to hurt nobody. So while you would throw batteries and baseballs and all type of shit trying to hit Profar in the back, that's corny. I don't like that. But I mean, it's nothing surprising. It's Chavez Ravine. They love their Dodgers, bro. They take it a little too serious.
Shout out all my Dodger homies, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. But let's move on. It is time for one of my new favorite segments on the show, and I got some good ones today. Overreaction Monday. It's our third edition of this. I've got a say it was Mexican World War III. That's hilarious. I have a couple overreactions for y'all. I want to know what y'all thoughts of it, and then we'll go to y'all overreactions, man. My first one, I hate to say this, man. Justin Fields is a career backup. I feel that that's just kind of what it is. We've pretty much all been guaranteed that Russell Wilson will be starting next week. I think they pretty much let that cat out the bag during the broadcast. I don't know if y'all heard it. It feel like Mike Tirico is basically told by Mike Tomlin that, yeah, if Russ is ready to go Sunday, he's going to be the starter. Yep. I love Justin to death. I really do. I'm a Justin guy. But it's somebody tweeted yesterday, oh, Justin's really a good QB now. I'm like, my nigga, are you watching the game? I've seen this game more times than I can count in his 3 years in Chicago. A couple highs, a lot of lows. The boy just don't know how to hold on to the ball. It just don't know how to hold on to the ball. Like, for whatever reason, even if he gets the fumble back, he just don't know how to hold on the ball. He's lucky that the Dallas Cowboys secondary has Butterfingers. They dropped about 4 picks yesterday. And I think that for him in these games, he was going to have to be not picture perfect, but it had to be a clear distinction between him and Russ for them not to go back to Russ. Whatever you want to say about Russ, he's he's falling off, and I do believe he's falling off. I don't think there's that big of a difference between Russ and Justin. I said at the beginning of the season that I would have started Russ at the beginning of the year, but Russ got hurt in camp. I think that, there's sometimes the ball comes out a little bit too late. Russ, you're basically getting the same thing, but I think it's a little bit more polished than Justin Fields. Russ didn't have a bad year last year. It just wasn't a good team. So I feel like if the difference is this, the Steelers aren't going to just let Russ sit on the bench, let this former Super Bowl champion, maybe Hall of Famer, just sit on the bench and not give him a shot. If you give Russ a shot and he fails, you can go back to Justin. He's the younger quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like this happened for them in the best way to see what they have from Justin before going to Russ. Now, I think that I'm not saying that Justin can't be a starter, but if your team out there looking for a quarterback, there's going to be 3 or 4 quarterbacks that a lot of people are going to be trying to get next year. There's vets. I don't know 100% if they're the starting position for him in the league. And I feel like if Russ comes out and plays the same way he's playing and plays a little bit better, Justin might be a career backup. Bang, you think what I'm saying is overreaction?
No, I do not think it's an overreaction. In fact, I had that thought since last season. Justin is somebody that I hope succeeds, but so yeah, man. If damn,
It stinks. We got to keep it real.
It stinks, but okay, I'll say it like this, man. It depends on who's the coordinator. I feel like if Justin gets one more season under Arthur Smith, he'll be okay. You still got to break out of those. I think Justin is a victim of the worst time in recent memory when it comes to the NFL. You did okay last season, but your team got the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
You're doing okay this season, and you should beat out Russell Wilson, but you'll be a free agent next season. And we ain't trying to pay you all that. So we might mess around and let both of y'all go. So,
right.
Yeah. So, and if he goes to another team, like what team could he go to? Could he go to the Raiders? Like the Raiders is literally
you
the
see
only
Mark
team.
Davis giving googly eyes to Shedeur Sanders at the AC game?
He got to get there though.
Yeah,
he got to get there though. So the Raiders is the only team that I could see Justin with and having some.
Then he got to play with Lou Gesson. And that's the problem right there. And I also want to say that I thought it was very interesting. I don't know if y'all heard his podcast. When he was on a podcast, I think it was one of the Pouncey's. Was it one of the Pouncey brothers? Are them niggas still on the team? I don't know. But some light-skinned nigga on
No, Cam Hayward.
That Cam Hayward. That's who it was. Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward. And he said that Arthur Smith called him a running back when they played the Falcons when he's with the Bears. I thought that was kind of funny. And very interesting that has his coach now. But Dante, do you think what I'm saying is an overreaction?
No, I don't think it's an overreaction. I think Justin is unfortunately been pushed into a situation where his last year with the Bears is going to be his situation in every team he goes to. Where it's like, if you don't show us you the guy, we're going to move on. Like, just flat out. Like, if you don't shock and awe us or have a lot of games where it's really clear as day, like, okay, Justin is the guy, then there's always going to be competition. And he hasn't shown that so far. I think he had an opportunity to build off some good games, and he had, a pretty mediocre game against Dallas. It was the same Justin we've seen for 4 years. So it's one of those things where I'm not surprised that, we're probably going to see Russell Wilson just to see what he can give that team. Because like you said, it's a lot easier to bench Russ and go back to Justin than it is to do the exact opposite. So it is what it is. It's kind of, it's unfortunate. We've all rooted for him and wanted to see him succeed. But right now, because of everything he's done up until this point, because of his resume, he's going to be seen as a guy that has to perform at a good or better level every week before he officially gets that, okay, he's our starter now.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. My next one, I don't care what the stats say. I don't care how much money he got paid. You can't fool me, my nigga. If real niggas know what they looking at, and Jordan Love is actually mid. I'm sorry. That nigga is being protected by Matt LaFleur. And that defense. I didn't know that Matt LaFleur was like that. I thought Matt LaFleur was a product of Aaron Rodgers. I was wrong. I've never seen somebody scheme up wide receivers being overland. That boy mid. I'm sorry. There was some throws yesterday in that Rams game where I was like, "Cap, nigga, do you know we can see you?" Like it was just not good this whole season. It just looked like there's something not there. And you take away the little 5-game stretch he had towards the end of the season, this is pretty much how he's played. I'm not thinking he's a bad quarterback. I don't think he's a good quarterback. I'm not even really mad at them paying him because of today's NFL. If you're paying off what you think he can be, and if you've got a somewhat okay quarterback, you're not gonna let him walk. But the nigga's not. He's mid. He's not somebody who is going to win a game because of himself. I think that when it's all said and done, that he's not like y'all can stop with the Brett Favre, the Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love montage. I think it's a lot. That's my second overreaction. And Jordan Love is actually mid. Bang, what you think about that?
I think he's being protected by a good coach and that defense. I was looking at that game yesterday, and he was erratic. He's erratic. And that pick six he threw was one of the worst pick sixes I've seen in recent memory. But what Green Bay has is an amazing defense. I did not realize how good that defense was. I didn't realize how big of an addition that Xavier McKinney was. That defense is good. So as long as that defense is there, he's going to get the ball, and they're going to get him right. If you put Jordan Love in another situation, you've wasted the money that you signed him. So no, I believe he's mid too. He's showing you what coaching can do for you.
Him and Sam Darnold, we'll get into that division in a minute. Dante, do you think what I'm saying is off base? Do you think Jordan Love is mid, or I'm just being a Bears fan?
I think we felt this way since last year. Like, you have a great coach and you have a great scheme. It makes players look a lot better than what they really are. And I think this is a situation where I don't think this is much of Jordan Love's fault, but because this is what Green Bay has done. When you're able to sit a guy down for 3 years and say, "Hey, bro, just learn this system. Like, just don't worry about nothing else. You're not gonna play. We got a guy here who's gonna play. Just learn the system." Jordan Love was always gonna come onto the field and at least be competent. Like he was always gonna be that because he's had time to literally just sit there and learn the system. But when it's time to go above and beyond and do those extra plays, he relies a lot on what Matt can do for him, what's being drawn up, what can be coached up for him. So I mean, I'm not gonna knock him for that, but I think he's definitely protected by the fact that he has a head coach that always puts him in the best position to succeed because most quarterbacks don't have that.
Definitely. I've got two more before I go to y'all. If y'all have any, this one I bring a lot of pride in. This made me very happy when I wrote this down. This list, 2024 Jets Aaron Rodgers is Patrick Ewing on the Orlando Magic. Patrick Ewing on the Seattle Supersonics is who Aaron Rodgers is. I don't know if y'all watched that game yesterday because it came on so early, but that nigga stank. I can't tell you the last time I saw Aaron Rodgers throw 3 interceptions. It probably could have threw 4. If you look at what Aaron has been, the numbers of the CU, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4 picks. I know what that nigga looks like when he's on. I know what he looks like when he's cooking. He looks old. That knee has no movement whatsoever. Shaq on the Celtics, yes. Shaq on the Boston Celtics. Shaq on the Cleveland Cavaliers. John Starks on the Bulls. Like, we can be here all day with niggas who's on
Dennis Rodman on the Mavs.
Dennis Rodman on the Mavericks, bro. Like, just bad. And I think that it's finally over. And this is also what kind of goes what you were saying on Friday, Bang, was as much as Devontae wants to play with Aaron, I might want to play with him. He's not the same guy anymore, and he could probably leave. And then you're going to be stuck with Carson Beck or whoever else they're going to have in there. I think Aaron Rodgers is Seattle Supersonics Patrick Ewing. Bang, do you agree with me?
He is Orlando Magic Sean Kemp. That's where he is right now, fam. We can keep this going, Jack. He's Scottie Pippen on his second leg of the Bulls. Right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's that, fam. It is a wrap. It is. Oh, what is this? Numbers in your pocket. I remember when you used to throw those things away. It is over. I watched that game, and I said, he getting his ass beat. He can't move. they threw that one touchdown before halftime. The announcers, the Rich Eisen, them got a little bit geek, like, oh, okay. But no, it is OV. If I am Mike Greenberg, I'm like, damn, I was excited about this motherfucker. Like, no, I saw a stat, and I don't know if this is right because it was on the meme, so I don't know. But I saw something that said that in the same amount of games last year compared to this year, it is the same between what Aaron did this year and what Zach Wilson did last year. It is a wrap, G. That shit, he almost died. He was on that sideline crawling, Jack. And here's what makes me upset about this Jet shit. Everybody is blaming Robert Salah. Nigga, it is the offense that is Huff. It is head coach Nate Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett.
And Aaron Rodgers and that offense that's terrible. That team wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for Robert Salah and that defense. That nigga that Aaron Rodgers wanted, and Aaron Rodgers is the reason why that team is Huff. Nigga, why Breece Hall wasn't in that motherfucking game doing what? Nigga, Breece Hall disappeared, my G. That shit is over. It is a wrap. Aaron, go take
he can't even be a family man because his family don't like him.
Man, he can't be a family. He ain't got no family. He ain't got no bitch. He ain't got shit. He can't get no ass. He's just gonna be in a dark ass cabin.
That nigga fumbled in the NFC Championship game and fumbled Olivia Munn in one calendar year.
Yeah. He's just gonna be in some goddamn rural area of California eating some mushrooms that's going to make him remember when he actually won the Super Bowl damn near 15 years ago. This shit's a wrap, nigga. That is a wrap.
Alex, you having 112 memories numbers in pocket that used to hurt me back in the day. Funny thing about this video, hey, them niggas was singing in front of a Waffle House. But Dante, is Rodgers washed?
Yeah, that was actually my overreaction for the week. He's done. He's Huff. Like, he's terrible. I'm not gonna lie. When he got rolled over, I thought it was done. But
I'm sorry, I had a sick smile on my face when I saw that. Like, I was in that booth looking like there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, no, he definitely hobbled to the sideline, popped another perk, and came back out there. But yeah, it's over with for this guy. I don't think trading for Devontae Adams is gonna save him. I think it's one of those things where it's like the age, the injury you suffered, and then trying to come back. It's like, yeah, you were once, he's still one of the greatest ball play in terms of ball placement and throwing the ball and everything he could do on the field. That's not deniable, but it's done. It's over with. It's time to go. I can't say be a family man because his family hates him, but it's time to go home. Go figure some shit out, bro. Go back to your little dark hole.
Your ass better go on
ashwagandha.
That's what it is. Ashwagandha. That nigga got to go on Maury and work it out with his family. That's what the fuck he got to do, nigga.
But yeah, I think it's over with for Aaron.
There you go. Aaron gonna be on Jennifer Hudson.
Don't they got a Netflix doc coming out about this nigga in a couple of weeks too? Oh, that nigga's watched at the perfect time.
Yeah, that nigga, you watch when you got a documentary coming out when you're still playing. All right, that's when you know that it's coming up, man. But final one for me, and then if y'all got anything we'll add it. This one's actually, I think it's a good overreaction.
Oh, I got a good one. I'm full delusion on mine.
I'm looking forward to that one. This one I think is a good one for Bears fans and Commanders fans. We are overreaction. We are watching the next Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. We keep hearing all these conversations. Who's better? Who's better? Who said there can't be two great quarterbacks? Who said we're not watching a generational battle between these dudes that's going to start in a couple weeks in Landover, Maryland, in the worst stadium in the NFL? Who says that both teams? Who says that the Commanders ain't got that guy? Who said that we ain't got that guy? Who said this won't be the NFC Championship game in 2-3 years? Maybe we are watching the beginning of a budding rivalry. And if anybody remembers that, I know there's a lot of kids out there who don't remember that right. It's two parts of the rivalry. There's the first part of the rivalry where Brady and them was getting up in Manning. I remember that cold AFC Championship game where Peyton Manning threw 3 picks to Ty Law. 3. I remember Chetty Bruschi walking around thinking he Brian Urlacher. talking about they can't beat us. I don't care how good he is. Like maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we're watching. We arguing with each other about it. Maybe we're watching the beginning of a rivalry here, where both of these guys are fighting for the NFC Championship, fighting for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's what we're watching. I think from the progression we've seen from Jaden, I don't care if he's doing it against bum teams. He's looking well. You know what I'm saying? He said Daniel's Brady. We don't know that. We're putting too much dip on. I think Caleb is Tom Brady. And who knows? Maybe that's what I think. Bang, am I tripping? Am I?
No, I wouldn't use Manning Brady yet. Like a nigga got to win some shit, but definitely. I mean, if we matter of fact, I'll give you one right here. If we talking about two quarterbacks who might be cold, but they ain't win shit yet, this might be goddamn Dan Marino versus Jim Kelly. I'll put him in that shit.
Okay.
I'll put them niggas ain't won shit, all right? So I don't want to put way too much dip on a motherfucking chip. But if we want to put it in its proper perspective, I'll put Dan Marino versus Jim Kelly, except they ain't in the same division. Look, two young QBs that's out here getting it and everything, and it looks like they're gonna have a great future in this league. But I don't want to put anything revolving around somebody who's won a Super Bowl yet with these two. But two quarterbacks who definitely did their thing in the NFL and in their own right are icons and legends in the sport is Dan Marino. Dan Marino might be the greatest quarterback of all time, the best thrower of the football. And the only reason why he's not talked about with other people is because he didn't win a ring. He went to one Super Bowl, and that was pretty, and lost it to Joe Montana. And that was like in his second season.
That launched Montana. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'll put that in that perspective. But we got two young quarterbacks who I think is going to be around for a long time, and I'm excited. Plus, very underrated part about this too, and shouts out to one of my OGs out there in DC, Doc Walker, former member of the Washington Redskins, a part of the Hogs and all of that stuff. Low key, Chicago and Washington is a rivalry in the 80s.
100%. Yeah,
that is 100%. Doc could come to my office. Chicago, Chi-Town, hate them Bears. Man, anytime we played them, when we played them, we wanted to give it to them. Matter of fact, if I can remember this correctly, OG mine, Walter Payton's last game as a Chicago Bear is a playoff loss to the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
The team of the 80s was supposed to be the Bears. Washington could have been the team of the 80s because they got two titles and 3 Super Bowl appearances, I believe it was, in the 80s. It turns out to be the San Francisco 49ers. But that team, those two teams right there, when they play each other, they don't like each other. Bring it back to the 80s, Jack.
There we go. Dante, what you think, man? Are we wilding?
No. I think it's really more than anything. We are thirsty for that next great quarterback matchup. Like we lived on these matchups, dog. Like I remember,
we're thirsty to be a part of it.
I mean that goes without saying, but it's in terms of like having two great quarterbacks in the same division that we look forward to those matchups. So it's like, okay, no, they finna go at it. They really finna get it in. Like I remember those Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning AFC championships. Like that was must see TV. Like you cleared out your Sunday afternoon because we about to watch Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Like,
Shane, you're wrong. Huh? Shane said the NFC never had a Tom and Peyton type of rivalry. Shit.
Who was that? Who was in the NFC?
Oh, shit. Troy Aikman versus Steve Young.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman versus Brett Favre. That's at one point. Phil Simms versus Joe Montana was at some point. Shit.
Yeah, but no, I think it has the potential to be there. It's still early, but the potential is there.
Bang, hit us with your overreaction.
Hey, man, I just let y'all know how full delusional I am. Gervon Dexter Sr. will be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. He got 4 sacks already as a 3-tech D tackle. He get the 8. Conversations will be had with Gervon Dexter Sr. being in Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Who in the NFC right now, defensive player, has been dominating?
That's a good point. That's a good point. We don't have Aaron Donald here.
Right. So as a three tech D tackle with 4 sacks already, I believe that he leads the NFL. He leads interior linemen in the NFL with sacks right now. He's going to be in that conversation this year if he continues doing what he is doing. Devon Dexter has 4. He's around the ball heavy. You hear him. The Bears has a top 10 defense right now. If he get the 8, watch what happens.
I think it's a slight overreaction, but I like it. I like it. I like what I've seen from Gervon Dexter. He had a great training camp. Everybody's saying if he can step up, then it's to take this Bears defense to the next level, and he's been doing that. So I think the defensive player of the year until TJ Watt dies is gonna be probably his.
No, you got AFC and NFC.
They do. It's separate.
You have a defensive player of the year award in
I
the
don't,
NFC.
I don't think they got separate defensive players.
No,
No,
they give them awards, Jack. So and still, even still, as a D tackle, this is meant to be an overreaction. But
It's
as
true.
a D tackle, once you get to 8, 9,
It's a conversation.
I didn't say he gonna win it.
It's a conversation.
I said conversation.
Dante, do you have a overreaction before we wrap this up?
No, I don't. You took one of mine. So.
Oh, my
yeah.
fault. My fault.
Yeah, no, so we are okay.
That is today's edition of Overreaction Monday, man. So let's get into a couple stories from week 5, man. I want to talk about last night's Sunday night football game real quick, man. Dakota Rain Prescott had the most Dak Prescott ass game ever. He threw a lot of passes. We like, nigga, are you blind? And then he threw that game winner out the corner. There was several things funny about that. Number one, the hit that was Ezekiel Elliott. Somebody got knocked out. And that was like one of the Tom Jackson, Chris Berman era. Oh man, Detroit Tigers 3-run home run in the top of the 9th. Tigers up 3-run home run. Kerry Carpenter. If you're watching that game, shout out to Detroit. Look like they're gonna tie this series up. But that to me just showed you it really saved the Cowboys season because it really looked like that season was gonna end there. TJ Watt got his 100th sack. That nigga is incredible. He's better than his brother, and that's saying something because his brother was incredible. But I also think it showed you that as great as coaches can be, as great as Mike Tomlin can be, he tweaked a little bit on the time management towards the end. I believe if they'd have kept the timeouts a little bit more, at least have one more timeout, they could at least try to get it into field goal range. But that was the $60 million a year type drive from Dak Prescott. And on the other side, like you said earlier, it also showed you why Russell Wilson's probably going to start next week. Bane, what you think about last night's Sunday night football game that took forever to actually get started because of that thunder delay?
I was looking at an email from work. My bad. What'd you just say?
I said,
work just got on my nerves real quick.
What'd you think about last night's Sunday night football game and that drive by Dak?
Man, if anything, I'm more worried about the Cowboys. That's what I thought about that game. The fact that him and CeeDee Lamb can't get along, and they just got how both of y'all niggas got y'all money and y'all can't get along is beyond me. But I was shocked to find out that was like Dak's first time. I think I saw something that said that was Dak's first touchdown in the fourth quarter that late to get ahead or some shit. Some weird ass lame ass analytics stat that somebody came up with. But with that defense that they was going against also, I thought it was great. At the same time, it's one of those games that you leave with more questions than you do have answers. Can this team get along? Is this defense good enough to get them through the NFC East, let alone get to the playoffs? Even though I think I picked the Steelers, I was expecting a bit more from the Cowboys. So I don't know, man. Like I'm still just wondering how two niggas that just got the money that both of those Mars got can't get along right now. Like you can't trade one of them. So
CD
y'all got to
wanted to
learn to
cuss
get
that
better.
nigga out, boy.
Yeah, see, I thought CD Lamb was gonna hit him. The shit that happened between Gabe Davis and Trevor Lawrence, I thought that was gonna be Dallas Cowboys last night.
Yeah, he definitely got he wanted to steal off, buddy. Dante, what'd you take from last night's Sunday Night Football game?
That I'm an idiot for picking Dak to be MVP. Dakota has let me down every week so far. I don't think he's had really too many performances where I've been like, yeah, this nigga will win MVP. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm really concerned. I understand you won this game, but it's like this does not look like a team that's built to make a deep playoff run. So if that's the case, what are you paying all these niggas for? You spending a lot of money at these key positions, and it doesn't look like your team is positioned to win anything. So, I mean, as much as we talk about owners who don't care, one thing I can honestly say, Jerry Jones cares. He cares. He's trying to. He fucks up, but he's trying to win. So as he continues to get older,
but yeah,
as he continues to get older, I wonder, what do the Cowboys do? Because I think Jerry Jones is definitely one of those owners who he wants to get one more before he dies. He wants one more before he goes, and that day is sooner rather than later. I'm not even trying to be funny, but so where do the Cowboys go from here? Because it's one of those things where it's like it just looks like another typical 9-win first round lost Cowboy team. They nothing spectacular here.
Let's go on to what I think was game of the weekend yesterday between two division rivals. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals had an overtime shootout. There was absolutely no defense played in this game. Ravens came on top 41-38 because Zach Taylor, and I got to take my shades off again. You have Joe Burrow. Why are you playing for a 55-yard field goal? Like the play call at the end of that game made absolutely no sense to me. You have Joe Burrow. Not only do you have Joe Burrow, you have a Joe Burrow who was 30 of 39, 392 yards passing, and 5 touchdowns. I clicked out. I was so upset. I clicked out of the ESPN app. I'm trying to go back to where I had the stat here. He had 392 yards last night. Only one interception, which was kind of a bozo interception. But all right, here we go. 30-39, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. And he's been hooping all season. You got Jamar Chase, who definitely looks like he could get paid. 10 receptions, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns. T. Higgins, 2 touchdowns. And you're playing for a field goal? Lamar Jackson gave y'all the game. Do y'all understand how I thought I was going to come on this show here tomorrow and be like, y'all see that fumble? Y'all see that fumble?
I said clear the lane. I said clear the lane for Scott tomorrow.
Y'all screwed me out of my rant today. And then you get a ball to them, and Derrick Henry reminded you why it's Derrick Henry, and the ball game was over. And that made me mad, even though Lamar had a great game, 26-42, 348, 4 touchdowns, and the crazy touchdown, which I want Kevin Harlan to call nothing but Lamar Jackson games from online. But he was snapping. He was snapping, man. Crazy game. I think that effectively ended the Bengals season. Lamar Jackson is now 9-1 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bang, what'd you take from that game yesterday?
I don't think, and I'm not just saying this because I picked them to go to the Super Bowl and I picked Joe Burrow to be MVP. Because of the division that they're in, I don't think they're necessarily out of it. They haven't played their division games just yet. But it's on life support, though. It is on life support. And they gave away a game that was given to them. They are in need of a players only meeting. If there's a team that, like how we had said a couple of weeks ago, was like Bears having players only meetings already.
The dreaded player only meeting.
If there was a team that was in need of a players only meeting, it is not the entire team. It is not the entire team of the Cincinnati Bengals. It is the defense. It is one thing that I learned by watching that game yesterday and seeing the highlights of the others, that defense is the worst. That defense is the pits, and you have all the talent over there with T. Higgins, with Jamar Chase, and Joe Burrow throwing them the ball. You got Zach Moss, who's looked hella decent, and Chase Brown that's over there too. The offensive line is kind of decent for the Cincinnati Bengals. That defense sucks. And that defense is the reason why they might be out of it. They don't like support, but they might be out of it. Because it was, even in looking at some of the stuff that happened during that game yesterday, if it was a better defense, Scott, you would be clearing the lane at the beginning of the show, talking shit about Lamar Jackson if that defense was a lot better. Because here's the thing. They normally play the Ravens good, even though Lamar has that record against them. They played them better than what you saw yesterday because the defense of the Bengals is usually better. So I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I don't know if they're trying to conserve some money to get some people on the defensive side. But as long as that defense is playing the way that they playing right now, the Cincinnati Bengals will go from life support to flatline real quick.
Dante, man, what you think about that game? And I guess like the play calling towards the end, that just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about how these coaches get in their own way a lot of times, and I think this is one of those situations when you got a guy like Joe Burrow, who's having a great game, has shown you time and time again he gives your team the best chance to win. So why wouldn't you put the ball in his hand? So that was a coach, out thinking himself. So that was something that's silly. And in terms of Lamar and Burrow, I know Scott not gonna like to hear this, but I mean, this is Lamar's division. It just is. Like, I understand that a few years ago the Bengals did what they did, but like I told y'all several times again, unless everything is perfect, I don't expect Joe Burrow to win. Like, unless everybody's healthy,
his individual game was way better than Lamar yesterday. He played a way better game than Lamar yesterday.
And he lost. It's okay.
It wasn't his fault.
I understand that, but my point stands. I think at the end of the day, with those teams, I'm always going to lean toward the Ravens over the Bengals. It's until they prove it otherwise, I'm always going to pick side with the Ravens. But I mean, I think in terms of what your question and the play calling, you got to trust your guy, man. Like, this is my guy. This is the guy we put faith in to be the face of the franchise, to be our quarterback who has led us, up until this point. Why would you play for the field goal? I think anytime you see teams play for the field goal, you usually see bad shit happen. It's rare we see a team play for the field goal. Like, that was something that shout out to NFC South. You would see Matt Ryan and Drew Brees do like 10 years ago, where it's like, all right, we down by 1. I'm finna go get 45 yards and kick a field goal. Shit like that is cool. But these days, you can't really do that. And that hasn't worked well for many of the teams to try to do that. And this was another example of that. So I think with that, you got to just let Joe be Joe. Like, let him be the guy that you paid to be, the leader of your team. And they didn't do that on Sunday.
We go from one North division. By the way, the AFC North Hard Knocks is going to be cold. I'm really looking forward to watching that in December. Go to the NFC North, which is the division that the beloved plays in. The only division, we all knew it was going to be a good division, but it's the only division in football with winning teams. You got the Vikings, who are 5-0. You got the Lions, who on bye week, 3-1, and then both the Packers and the Bears are 3-2. I think that I'm really interested to see how the second half of the season is going to go, because I still think pound for pound, Detroit is the best team in the division. I picked Detroit to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not going to back off of that. I haven't seen anything to make me think otherwise. I do think their defense is not as good as people makes it out to be, and I think they can be had. But I think just everything they've got in that team just feels complete. There's something about Minnesota where I still don't trust it. And I don't even 100% know if it's just the Sam Darnold factor, but I just don't trust it. Even though Sam Darnold didn't look spectacular yesterday, I think that they still have a really good chance to win the division. I do think there'll be a playoff game, which is way better than I think anybody thought they'd be coming into this season. But some just ain't smelling right, man. I can't just put my finger on it yet about them when it comes to
yes, you can.
Is it just the Sam Darnold thing?
Yeah, he damn near gave away the game yesterday. to the Jets. You goddamn right, it's Sam Darnold. When is the slipper gonna fall off that motherfucker?
Right.
It was almost yes. If Aaron Rodgers wasn't ass, it would have been yesterday. Because he sure was trying to get that goddamn ball away. Then plus with if Aaron Jones has to see some time off because of the hip, because he definitely fucked up my parlay yesterday. But if he has to spend some time out because of that hip, do they have the horses behind that offensive line to take the pressure off of Sam Darnold? So no, shouts out to y'all being 5-0, but that slipper could fall off real quick. Matter of fact, who was that? Remember when? Well, no, y'all was shorties. The Miami Dolphins went 7-0, I believe it was, or 9. I think they won 9 in a row actually, and they lost every game after that. So with Scott Mitchell being their quarterback, so yeah, they could be 5-0 right now. They could win these next couple of games. That don't mean shit when you really get to the meat and potatoes of this season, and that's towards the end.
And and that's why they've only played one division game against the Packers, and they beat them down, but they almost tricked it off. I really want to see what they're gonna be like when they play the Packers again. I want to see what they're like when they play Detroit. And honestly, like I keep saying, man, we got defense. I'm gonna keep talking my shit. Like, look, that's a different thing when you go up against our defense. I'm sorry. That's why I'm just not really worried about it. And I said at the beginning of the season, I'm gonna stick 3 teams coming out this division going to the playoffs. Some team gonna be asked out, and I hope it ain't the beloved. Dante, what you think about the division and how they played so far?
Yeah, first of all, let me just say y'all gotta excuse me. I'm an old nigga. I definitely had to stand up. My back was killing me. But no, I think I agree. I think we're gonna have 3 playoff teams come out the NFC North like 100%. Who's gonna be that odd team out? It remains to be seen. I still think surprisingly it might be Green Bay because I'm still high on Minnesota just because of the coaching and the defense. And I think Sam Darnold will do enough to get that team to the playoffs. Because Bang, you make a very good point. We were young niggas when that happened, but we have seen teams start out hot and then collapse. But I also think this is a well-coached football team, and they'll be able to coach around any mistakes that Sam does make to the point where they'll be able to make the playoffs. Like I know it's a 17-game season now, but when you're able to give yourself a 5-0 cushion, like that helps out a lot. It's kind of like golf. Like even you can have a couple blow up holes, but if you get those pars in there, your score gonna look good at the end of the day. So I think this is a team that even if they don't win the NFC North, they'll be able to make the playoffs. And so I think I think this division is really good. We've talked about it for the last couple of years, just the way that they built it and the way it's continued to be built. But I think now we're finally about to see like this division is gonna take off.
What do y'all think about Detroit these first couple of games? Because they ain't been pretty, but they've been getting it done. And Bang, you said they were going to struggle a little more this year. They were playing a first place schedule.
Yep.
I do think them not playing outside yet has helped a lot. What did you think about Detroit? 4 games in.
They could be had. I'm not gonna say that they're overrated. They're right where they need to be. But they can be had. Especially with a team like the Bears, who their head coach has played that team well, and then they also got a coach who will fuck up the bag. So they are where they're supposed to be. I just don't know if it is Super Bowl worthy. Their defensive backs, they need some help back there too. They thought that they upgraded that during the draft and during free agency, and they still kind of huff. So that's the area that I think you need to worry about with them.
Orlando had a good point. First of all, Orlando said Dante got the Michael Porter Jr. back, which is and he's got a good point. If you can block Aiden Hutchinson, you got a chance against that defense, man. We're gonna do a week 6 preview, man. We got 20 minutes to do this, and we're gonna bring Larry Legend in around the 6:15 Central mark, and then we're gonna wrap the show up, man. Like I said, there's no show on Friday, so we're gonna do our picks in our preview here today. We're gonna start.
And if we was keeping score, I think I'd be up right now. And
I stopped taking score, which I just stopped adding it up. I don't know. I think me and you both doing pretty well. I don't think I've been hitting
them upsets, dog.
You've been hitting the upsets. You've been hitting the upsets up.
Upset special over here, Jack.
And the Seahawks was upside. They had what them niggas lost to the Giants.
Yeah, them niggas.
Yes,
fuck them.
I
I'm
had
pissed
to-
at them and the Niners. Both of them bitches.
I had to look at this. I was like, am I reading this right? The Giants won. And I saw Mariano post this IG story. Your team just lost to a trash organization like the Giants. I'm like, yeah, well, they must have won. Week 6 kicks off Thursday night football in San Francisco. San Francisco 49ers, who just got beat by the Arizona Cardinals last night. To the Seattle, we facing Seattle Seahawks. Man. And the one week they look like the greatest offense ever assembled. Next week they look like they never played football before. I said the Niners were done. I do not like this team without Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey's done. But this one for this game, it's a Thursday night game, it's a rivalry game. A lot of stupid stuff can happen. I'm going to upset. I'm going Seattle. I think Seattle finds a way to win this ball game on Thursday. We'll go me, Bang, and then Dante.
I got Seattle on this one too. It's just something does not feel right about the San Francisco 49ers. And when first of all, that game would have been over if Mason don't fumble in the red zone too.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't get me wrong, he's been a godsend as an undrafted free agent. However, this team sorely missed Christian McCaffrey. This is a trap game for them. If we thought that was a trap game for them, these division games are trap games for the Niners at this point. And I already told y'all that I don't think they was going to be as good as advertised this year. So I'm going with the Seahawks.
And we not to cut you off, we got a little bit of news. Rasheed Rice season's going to be over after his ACL surgery. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to jail, so it's definitely over.
I saw Ian Rappaport say that his season's probably over, but the ACL probably is intact. It's an LCL. I thought those.
Well, he gonna need to walk around prison, nigga.
Yeah, he need to be on as swift as possible, nigga. But no, I agree. I told y'all. I think ever since we saw Brandon Ayuk get slapped on the sidelines and none of his teammates helped him, I think there's something going on up there in San Francisco. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. Orlando's right, that defense is terrible, but I think Geno, I've been pleasantly surprised with Geno, and we got to really give him his props because a lot of people wrote him off, said his career was over, and he's continued to play well. So I'm gonna go with Seattle.
This generation is Jay Fiedler, nigga.
Geno's with the Black Jay Fiedler.
Black Jay Fiedler, nigga.
That's
we
hilarious.
thought your career was a wrap, nigga.
This next game might be the debut of another highly drafted quarterback, that is North Carolina's Drake May. Rumor has it that Gerard Mayo, who claims he doesn't have that the locker room isn't in disarray, might be throwing his rookie quarterback out there. And I think if he does that, that's malpractice. If there's anything, look at this offensive line. Don't get that kid killed. Don't get him killed. Don't put him out there, man. There's no reason whatsoever unless Jacoby Brissett is hurt. And even then, who's your third string? I might throw that nigga out there. If I throw my number 3 draft pick out in this mess, they'll be playing a team that is rolling right now. That is C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. Nice walk-off victory last night against the Buffalo Bills. Sean McDermott, you need your ass whooped as well for that game. I don't know how Josh Allen was able to come back in that game because that nigga like he was on Pluto. Or the way his head hit that.
Shouts out to Stephon Diggs ruining rappers' lives.
Stephon Diggs a nasty nigga. I wish we was doing summer sessions this week.
Yeah.
He a nasty nigga, man.
I'm gonna say it's the reason they did that. They did that little video and they was like, "Which teammate would you not let date your sister?" And everybody said Stephon Diggs.
My favorite reaction was who's the white wide receiver they had over there? He's in Carolina right now. Thielen was like, "Oh, Diggs for sure." Like that nigga did not hesitate. That tells you everything you need to know him. But Patriots, Texans gonna make quick work of these niggas, man. They gonna move on to 5-1 to start the season. CJ Stroud is, yeah, man. CJ that boy for sure. Ben, you go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else because it ain't nothing else need to be said. Texas.
Yeah, Texans by 10.
Ravens Commandos. This is probably the game of the week next week. This game,
wow. But for the record, that's crazy to call them the Commandos.
That's what Bomani called them. Bomani be calling them the Commandos. I just thought that was funny. So I continue calling them Commandos. The Commandos. The Baltimore Ravens, man, this is going to be, even though I was informed by multiple Washington, D.C. residents that Baltimore is not part of the DMV.
It's not.
And I still don't understand the logic of that, but that's what I was told. So I won't call this the battle.
It's like Chicago. It's like Gary and Chicagoland. Like Gary ain't Chicagoland, but it's right there. It's right there. That's the best way of explaining it. That makes sense for us.
Okay. I will respect their wishes, and I won't call this the battle of the DMV. The battle of the twos and doos. This one right here, in Baltimore, I think this is what we're gonna really see. Where Jaden Daniels' first test is on Sunday.
Yep.
These niggas ain't the niggas you've been going up against. Roquan Smith got homicide on his mind. You know what I'm saying? Like Marlon Humphreys can snuff out bad balls thrown his way. That is a defense that sees violence. They go head hunting. You saw what they did to Josh Allen a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be the test. If Jaden go out there and play well, hats off. That kid is incredible. And also, that Commanders defense, we really going to see how bad they are because Derrick Henry, Lamar, they going to do their thing for this one. I think it's going to be a very, very good game. But I think Jaden Daniels gets his first welcome to the NFL moment. I think the Ravens win this one. I think the Ravens win this one big. I'm going Ravens.
Ravens in a rout. I believe that all of that hype that they was giving Jaden Daniels, I think that defense is going to smash the Commanders. So I got the Ravens by at least 10.
Yeah, Ravens by 14.
Ravens by 14. And like I said, I'm a Jaden Daniels fan, but let's be very clear. If you have an ass game, you will be hearing from me. Eagles Browns. Eagles coming off their bye week. The Phillies are having a good run so far. Some people might forget that the Eagles have been kind of mid this year, but fortunately for them, they're going up against top 2 worst quarterback in the NFL right now. That is Freaky Sean. Look, this nigga gets worse and worse every week. Like, it's just terrible. I think the Eagles, this is a little get-right game for the Eagles, man. I think the Eagles win this one over the Browns.
Boy, if the Eagles lose this game, put like this. I don't think Kevin Stefanski is going to get fired unless he just defies ownership. To me, it's clearly an ownership decision, the reason why Deshaun Watson is still playing. The only way I see Stefanski getting fired if he say, fuck y'all, fam, I'm starting the person that I need to start. But if the Eagles lose this game, dude ass getting fired. That's how bad this could be for them.
And that's crazy because Stefanski a good coach to me.
Yeah, he's a very good coach, but I also think he's being handcuffed. So this is the somebody getting fired game. It could either be Deshaun Watson, it could be Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski, it could be Sirianni, but somebody might not have a job after this game. My pick on that, it's gonna be Deshaun Watson. He's getting fired this game. He might not last the whole game. We're gonna see Jameis Winston in this game.
Woo. Yeah, it's getting ugly. It's getting ugly in Cleveland. I don't think the coach in Philly is a good coach. And one of my things is if you're a coach that don't call plays, like nigga, you don't need to be there. We don't need to. We don't need this is not an orchestra. We don't need a conductor. You sit here and say, hey, you do this, you do that.
We don't need a CEO.
Yeah, no, we don't need all of that. I don't
Who's
like
more,
CEO.
The other niggas is more experienced than the CEO nigga.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of CEO coaches. So I think that's going to eventually the rubber's going to meet the road there. But I think this week, the Browns are just bad, bro. And they got to get rid of Deshaun Watson. I think it's to the point where I don't care how much you're paying him. Sit him down until you can figure out a way to get out of that contract. But no, he should not be your starting quarterback because, like you said, week by week, it's the same thing. And I know last week we shot him some bail because he hit Amari Cooper in the chest and it was picked off. But no, he be throwing up some bullshit. A lot. And so I think that has been the worst contract in NFL history. I don't think there's any saving that. I'm going to go with the Eagles. The Eagles better win this football game.
And what's funny about that too is like who's going to make the decision on that you got to sit Deshaun down because that's a lot of money. And I think like First of all, I love every moment of this for Cleveland fans because y'all was wild thirsty. I saw so much nasty stuff when the trade originally went down. That and you deserve this. I like you deserve everything that's happened to this franchise. Like, did y'all hear Terry Bradshaw say that he had to get put down?
Yeah, I watched that shit live, and I was like, wait a minute.
And that was like, hold on, like
I feel you, but I don't feel you. Like I feel you, but yo, you use the wrong terminology.
It's like put down might be a little crazy,
Like,
man.
Howie was like, I know what you're trying to say.
He ain't wrong though.
Yeah, that's also what I thought too. Like, I don't know if that he might need to get put down. He might need the old yellow buddy. Like, keep your hands to yourself.
But yeah, this is the owner decision, Scott. This is the owner decision. This is the Haslam family. Was that Jerry or whatever and D Haslam? This is their decision. It was their decision to sign him. It was their decision to give him a guaranteed contract. It's gonna be their decision to be like, you know what? Fuck it. This might be the game because if I can remember correctly, the Haslams come from the Eagles. So it's like, yo, we can't lose this one, Jack. So that's why. And the weird thing about this is Kevin Stefanski is in the middle of this shit. Could he get fired if he do some shit like that? Or could he do what's my man name Kenny Atkinson when Kevin Durant and them started putting too much dip on their chip and he wasn't even playing? That nigga was like, man, I quit now. I'm out. Y'all have fun with this shit.
Yeah, that might be it, man. Next game, Packers head back to the crib to play the Arizona Cardinals. You never know which version of the Cardinals you're gonna get, but since it's at Lambeau, I don't think you're gonna get good Cardinals. I think that we have man walking around, running around there pretty crazy. That defense is, it's. I don't think it's as good as people think it is, but it's gonna be enough to shut these niggas down. I'm going Green Bay. I'm going Green Bay in this win.
Defense is gonna win this one. Man ain't snapping off shit. Green Bay. Can't believe I'm saying this.
I'm gonna go with Arizona. I think they come to the Midwest, get a dub, and head back to Arizona. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
Next we got an NFC South battle. The Saints are actually about to kick off in about an hour, so we don't. Like I said, we're doing this early because there's no show on Friday, so we don't even know what their current record is going to be in a couple hours. But if I was somebody with a brain, I would say I'd take Patrick Mahomes and Holmes. I'm pretty sure they're going to lose today. But they will be headed back to the crib on Sunday to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are coming off a crushing loss to the Atlanta Falcons game they should have won. I think the Saints are coming back down to reality slowly, but they're getting there. I just don't believe in Derek Carr, and I think that the Bake Show, and the boys, I think they bounce back and they get a much-needed division win next week.
I got the Buccaneers in this game right here.
Yeah, I got the Bucks. Man, shout out to everybody in Tampa. I know they got another hurricane coming. Hope everybody's safe, but no, I'm definitely going with the Bucks.
This next game is the Yuck Bowl. We got the Titans, another team who was on bye week this week. They'll be playing the Colts, man. The Colts look way better with Joe Flacco in there. Surprise when you have a quarterback who can actually throw to his wide receivers. Looked much better. Had a really good chance of winning last night. I think the Titans are just. I mean, both these teams are bad, but I believe in Joe Burrow a lot. Not Joe Burrow. I believe in Joe Flacco a lot more than I believe in Will Levis, even in this time in his career. And I think the Colts are going to get this dub on the road.
Yeah, I got the Colts in this game too. You're right. Like Joe Flacco is one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC, and he's supposed to be retired or like doing what we're doing right now. So no, I got the Colts in this one, in the close one.
I just want to say it is a sad state of affairs for our black quarterbacks when this old cracker keeps getting off the couch and playing better than y'all. So I need you niggas to be better. But I'm going to pick Joe Flacco and the Colts over the Tennessee Titans. Mason Rudolph will play. I think Will Levis is – I know he got hurt in Miami, but I think his leash is getting a lot shorter. And, that team needs to win some football games. So you might see Mason Rudolph again. But I'm going to go with the Colts.
The worst part about this is when you realize that the coach drafted poor man's Jalen Hurts, and you know how we feel about Jalen Hurts.
Right, exactly. Led the league in turnovers since week 1 of last year. Like, you said, A-Hart better start learning routes. Hey man, look, dog. Anytime your coach comes out and say this quarterback is our quarterback, he's not your quarterback. I just want people to know that is not the case. When Lovey said that Rex is our quarterback, we always had Kyle Orton coming up. Next game, man, Broncos Chargers. First of all, I just want to say Patrick Surtain is playing some of the best football I've seen him play. To me, him and Jalen Johnson are the best corners in the game right now. They're playing shut down. He had 2 picks. Yes, they're Gardner Minshew. I still don't know what I feel about the Broncos as an offense. I think that Bo Nix has shown some promise, but I still don't think it's anything to think that he's going to be a really good option long term. But this defense is legit. The Chargers are, I don't know what Justin Herbert's status is going to be. Like I said, we're recording this on a Monday. So I don't know what his status is going to be heading into this game, but it's in Denver. I think this is going to be an incredibly stupid game. It's a division game, but I think that the Broncos defense is going to have enough because I just don't think that Herbert is 100% right now. So I'm going to go with the Broncos in a very, very close game.
Broncos by 3. Broncos by 3. That now Pat Surtain might be defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
So, but no, Broncos by 3.
Bo Nix and the Broncos. I think year 1 for Harbaugh and LA is going to be, up and down. I think the Broncos get it done.
Next game, man. Cowboys back at Jerry World going against the Detroit Lions. The Lions coming off their bye week. They're trying to go 4-1. We both y'all voiced y'all concerns about the Cowboys. The Cowboys are not a good team. They're dealing with injuries still. No Michael Parsons. No Dexter Lawrence. Not Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is in New York. Who the fuck is their defensive end who's out? The names escape me right now, but they're dealing with a lot of injuries on the defense. And Detroit, I think Detroit's gonna come in. They're gonna win this game. Jared Goff's gonna be good. Amon-Ra's gonna be good. And we're gonna continue to see that good running back tandem of Jahmyr Gibbs and Demo. And I think that this defense can shut the door, man. So I'm gonna go with Detroit over the Cowboys. This is like the 2 niggas who like to play on Thanksgiving.
You talking about Lawrence is out, right? That's
yeah,
what you're
Lawrence.
talking
about?
Yeah. And it ain't gonna matter. Detroit gonna win this goddamn game. Right. And matter of fact,
thank you, Orlando's DeMarcus Lawrence.
And matter of fact, not only will they win this game might not be close. This is going to be one of those games where the national media is going to be talking about this Mike McCarthy need to get fired.
Well, that's been stewing for a minute. There's going to be a lot of coaches I don't even think going to make it to Black Monday or whatever you like to call it, man. Dante, how you got this game going?
I got Detroit. I'm gonna stick with Detroit. I still think they're gonna get it. They got enough to get it done. Like you said, it hasn't been pretty, but they've been able to make shit work. So I'm gonna go with Detroit.
This next one, another NFC South matchup, a team that the Bears just took care of last night. The Carolina Panthers are gonna be headed home to play the Atlanta Falcons. Man, the Falcons are playing some good football, close football. But Kirk Cousins has been good. Drake London has been really, really good. Jesse Bates and that defense has been good. Man, I'm going with the Falcons. The Panthers are a bad team. The Panthers are in the number 1 pick battle once again. I really felt bad for Bryce Young yesterday. I was like, man, Bryce Young was the number 1 draft pick last year. Now we lose him by 30, going out there and throw a couple balls real quick. Like that was crazy how quickly life comes fast for you, man. But I'm going Falcons this one. I think Falcons gonna win this one easy.
Falcons.
Yeah, Kirk's getting real comfortable in the A. Shout out to Taylor Rooks, taught about a swag surf. We did his thing.
Friend of the program, Taylor Rooks.
Yes, definitely. But no, I got Falcons.
This next one, Sunday Night Football. Who booked this game? Like, oh my God, Bengals Giants. Like, look, man, the Bengals are a lot of things. The Bengals defense, a lot of things. What they are not is a team that's losing to the New York Giants at home on prime time. I'm going to the Bengals in this one.
It better be the goddamn Bengals.
Bengals.
All right, final game of next week, and we're going to bring Larry Legend here in just 2 minutes. Jets, Bills, Monday Night Football. We're going to really see how washed Aaron Rodgers is. Monday Night Football at MetLife Stadium. This is actually the last time he played them was Monday Night Football 2 years ago. Not 2 years, last year, where he cooked his Achilles. The Bills coming off 2 tough losses. Blow off loss to Baltimore last week, and then a game that they really shouldn't have lost last night to the Houston Texans, man. But I think that, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is washed. I think that the offensive play calling by Nathaniel Hackett is terrible. I just don't see any way that changes. I think the Bills get a nice win back up here, and I think Josh Allen has a good game. Bills will win on Monday Night Football.
My bad. I'm telling my son, my son is a little bit thicker in size, and he's trying to act like he's like a point guard or some shit. Like, nigga, you better hit this goddamn backboard. But Jets, Bills, I got the Bills in this one. This game, talking about somebody getting fired, this might mess around and be Robert Saleh's last game as the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Of the New York Jets.
Yeah, I'm going Bills. I think Aaron Rodgers is done. I think he really is cooked. I mean, it's unfortunate because he had a great career, but I think this is the end of the road. So I'm gonna go with the Bills.
And we just got breaking news here in Pro Football Talk. Shout out to Mikey sending us in chat update. The latest lawsuit against Browns quarterback Freaky Deshaun Watson has been resolved. Per his attorney, Tony Busby, we have now resolved our client's claim with Deshaun Watson. The settlement is confidential. So that means,
damn, that nigga's getting paid $2 this season.
Right, exactly, man. Bang, man, we know you got to go and be a good black father, so we're gonna let you go ahead and do that. You'll be back next week on the show. You can follow him at JR Bang, all social media platforms. Anything you want to say if we get you up out of here?
Appreciate that, man. I got to teach this boy some post moves. Again, he think he a point guard and shit. Don't look at me like that. Look, fam, you got titties, all right? So they're not gonna make you a guard. They're gonna put your ass in the post. So we don't teach you some post moves today. But yeah. A new episode of First Black Champ. Triple H put his foot in his mouth by using the term "I don't see no color." So we talk shit about white people who don't see color.
Yeah, man. Y'all follow Bang, man. He'll be back next week, man. We're gonna bring in our guy, our culture correspondent, for another edition of Respect the Culture with Larry Legend, man. Laro, man, it's good to have you back here, man. How you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. I can't complain, man. Another day, another week where the Bears won, so we don't have much to complain about, bro. It's a great week for me.
Definitely a great week. Good to have you back, man. What we starting at today? What's going on,
man?
And the culture that we got to discuss.
Internet trolls. That's my first one today because this week, let's start at the top. You seen Drake? I'm sure y'all seen Drake.
I got some thoughts on that. Yeah,
he made the announcement about real friends and the lack thereof in the industry and whatever. He was on stage still living his 2000s best life, and I made a comment towards it because I felt like it was kind of loser activity. Like he ain't over what happened over the year. Like he won't let that shit go, and that's the reason we get in these conversations. I made my comment towards that, and one of the fans, it was the craziest interaction of all the things that was said. Most of those things I mute before I mute them, and so I don't have to hear anything anyway. So if y'all still talking to me, I wouldn't even know. But
right,
this guy says to me, "I'm a goofy, and I've never been backdoored by my closest friends before." I'm glad I haven't. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to understand, but I just thought, man, this is where I really want to go with this, and I just want to ask y'all opinion on this. Do y'all think stan fandom should start being counted as a mental illness? I think so. If you get on the internet and dedicate your life to another human being, you should be in a ward. I think nobody should be using the internet who's using it for those purposes. That's just my opinion, and I wanted to bring that to you guys to see what y'all felt about that.
I think, when it comes to being a stan, like the crazy thing about it is a lot of people don't even know where the term stan came from. It came from Eminem. I know that song is 23 years
20
old.
20 plus years old.
24 years now. Like I was on the Marshall Mathers LP, which is the second album. In the video, dude was legitimately what you see on the internet now, writing crazy letters to Eminem and saying I got a fifth of he said I got a fifth of it. Dare me to drive. Like that's basically what you're seeing now. It's crazy fans. I don't think there's a problem with being a fan. I actually wish there was more people who were just fans. I think too many people try to get into content or to in these different spaces, but they don't need to be doing that. Just be a fan. And so I feel that there is cool to be a fan. And even if you walk around and say, I'm a stan, I think that's funny as long as you're not actually doing it. Like I'm a Jay-Z stan too, like by joking. But I'm not finna be out here, Jay wouldn't do this. You're like just being the way that some niggas are. So I think from that perspective it is. But Drake stands are like Nicki Minaj and the Beehive a little bit, but actually worse because it's grown men. You know what I'm saying? Like it's grown men. Like I feel like Drake's female fandom has dropped tremendously over these last couple years. Ever since he started making a lot of incel anthems. And I think that this year, I just think that Drake's not taking this loss very well. Like I think if you're a grown man, if you're pushing 40, I'm gonna be 36 in 3 weeks. And Drake is 2 years older than me. So Drake is 2 years older than me. If you're pushing 40, you talking about fake fans, especially somebody who's been in the industry as long as he has. You should be used to this. You know what I'm saying? And he's not taking it well. I saw, and first of all, and it goes back to the way Kendrick played this beat was just chef kiss because he hit him in so different ways. Trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? He's still doing that with the Solange picture. Like, hey, brother, there's certain trees. What Jay say? Don't bark up that tree. That tree will fall on you. Jay ain't gonna rap at you. Jay got power now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even a rap that you got to worry about. And I feel like he's doing a lot. And when it comes to trolls, if you look at the person they're standing, it makes sense. Because if you're standing somebody like that, you're just going to come out as overall weirdo. But I think it's a sickness. And even if you see some of the men, I posted a picture on 7 Night the Howlers today of Caleb Williams meeting Derrick Rose and, taking a picture with Derrick Rose's kids. And someone's Derrick Rose is sitting on the training table. Like it's your mental. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I do think it's an illness though.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like it just, it goes back to the fact that, fan is a derivative of fanatic. So like when you go from fan to stan, people don't realize like you're doing too much. Like that's the whole point of the word. Like you're doing way too much, and this is not cool. This is not acceptable. This is going beyond normal appreciation for what somebody does. Because I mean, as you know, there's nothing wrong with showing love to your favorite creators. We all do it. Like we understand the work they put in, we understand what they do. But when you get to the point where you're going online and you feel like you have to defend this person and you trying to get into fights with strangers that you don't know them, that's taking it too far, and that's something that has been accepted too much. Like I always say, bring back shame. We need to shame a lot of niggas, bro, because it's like, bro, you're a loser. Like it's way more important shit going on than you be sitting here telling me about Drake and how he really won this. And well, if you listen to this bar and break this down, well, actually, like no, nigga, like just say you like Drake and leave it at
Drake
that.
Is telling you he didn't win from his moving.
From the way he's moving. And as somebody who's been a Drake fan for the longest, I put a lot of people on Drake. This has been really disappointing to see, G. The way he's been moving. And then, like you said, when you keep having these sore loser ass posts after the fact, it's like, nigga, you lost. Like, stop trying to feed your base. The 6 niggas who think you won, you lost, bro. If you bring this back up, it's only gonna get worse. Kendrick he gave you a little bail in the Super Bowl commercial, no round twos. Like that was pretty much him saying, hey, shut the fuck up. Like stop. Because this can go way left and get worse for you again. Like he said the rabbit hole was deeper, and he stopped. So be thankful that he stopped. So this shit is lame.
I can go further, I promise. That's all I remember.
And I also think he mad too because that 100 gigs thing ain't hitting. Like this one, I knew that Drake kind of lost his touch. Usually Drake just cough on the track and it's gonna hit top 10. None of those records even hit the top 25. Like and Drake, when he put out All for All the Dogs last year, I think like 8 of the 10 top 10 were from the album. So that to me is like why I feel like he's acting up a little bit. So who is the Drake of sports? Deshaun Watson? That's shout out our guy Jay Hood in the chat. Who is the Drake of sports? I don't know. We gotta sit and think about that. honestly, well, I'm not comparing the two, but I think LeBron is just a Drake of sports. Like,
Yeah.
Don't do Braun like that. I can't let you do Braun like that.
I think
can't.
LeBron is Drake
No,
of sports.
I can't let you do Braun like that. G, that's a lot. That's a lot, bro.
And I'm not talking about like
Drake-
who they are as people. Drake is much lamer than LeBron.
Yeah.
He's much more lamer than LeBron. But sometimes LeBron be doing a little bit too much too. Like, did you saw his tweet storm this week when he was talking about somebody? Well, I think one of the Celtics announcers was like, "Oh, how did LeBron having a scapegoat?" And LeBron was like, "What did he use the Jay-Z line? Get off my dick. You have some breakfast first." That's funny, but let's be real. There always is a scapegoat on your team, and I'm gonna sound like a hater, and I'm fine with that. Look, I'm Bron and Bronny'd out one game already. I'm
Come
sorry.
on, G.
I'm Bron and Bronny'd out.
Let my man get a week with his son, G.
I'm
Let him
Bron
get a
and
week.
Bronny'd out. We
A
already
couple
know
pictures.
that he finna be playing on the South Bay Lakers
In
before
4 years.
Thanksgiving. We ain't
Hey,
even gotta
time
do
out.
all this.
Did you see when LeBron checked in and he speed walked over next to Bronny so you can get the LeBron? The
That's
James,
what I'm
James
talking
Jr. picture?
about.
That nigga said, "Hold on, let me get over here." Quick as hell. I said, "Okay, I see what
That's
this is
what
about."
I'm talking about. It's intentional, and I'm not hating on his kid being drafted. Whatever. Even though the Warriors came out like we was gonna draft that nigga. We looked out for Bron. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, yeah, get Agon James out of here. I don't look.
Agon for sure.
Agon James, like that. Look, I am Bron and Bronny Down already. I've seen people say, "Oh, if you're a hater, if you're Bumpy Johnson, no, not Bumpy Johnson, Slick Johnson." I said, what was my man Dave Chappelle on Slink, not Slink, but Dave Chappelle on Player Haters Ball. Silky Johnson.
Silky.
I'll be Silky Johnson to tell the truth. If this was Bronny's really, really good situation, I would have a problem with it. He's gonna be on the South Bay Lakers before Thanksgiving. Stop it, man. I just want to say that. Go ahead, Larry. You can go to your next point.
Hey, I'm with y'all on that, man. It's only been one preseason game. They had a whole article about the man for 2 points. Yeah, 2 points. And somebody else had like 25.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, we're going to the second topic for real. Real quick, man. I know if y'all haven't been paying attention, it's a guy who's famous from YouTube, and he's also famous for his ex-girlfriend now, DDG. So he got like 3 videos out where he's going around giving bad advice, telling people the 9 to 5s are only for you to become an entrepreneur.
Nah, he one of them type
stuff
niggas.
like that. He made a post this week, if y'all didn't see, where he basically announced that he was breaking up with his girlfriend, who we know more than we know him. He got really upset when Joe Budden brought it up on his show and said he didn't understand why we were even caring about what DDG had to say about anything. And DDG got upset. He been going at Joe Budden all week since then on anything, any platform he's invited to, he's been going at Joe Budden. My question to y'all is, because I know where I stand in this. I think that some people need to understand that being famous in their world does not mean you're really that famous. Now, I'm not talking about his dollars. He's worth more money than his ex-woman. So people bring that up as to say he don't need her or whatever, but I beg to differ. My question to you guys is it fair to say that some internet celebrities have delusions about their reach?
Oh,
like
100%.
You know how like YouTubers, they got this mindset that they're really stars because they make money and they got views on YouTube. But like my grandma gonna know Haley Bailey before she'll ever know DDG.
Yeah.
And I think these people got that shit a little twisted, but I just want to hear y'all opinion on that. Also, second, it's a 2-part question. Because you all have a platform and we do this, do you think having an opinion without being a journalist is the same as being gossipy? Because that was something that was being brought up about Joe Budden, him even commenting on a situation. It's kind of like gossip news. And I just feel like I don't give people the same, I don't give everybody with a platform the same, I don't hold them to the same standard as a journalist. So my 2 questions to y'all again, if y'all didn't hear me. Internet celebrities, do they have delusions about their reach? And is having an opinion the same as gossip when it comes to podcasting?
I think that Yes, there is a difference between that because number one, uh, is it Halle or Haley Bailey? It's Halle. I think it's Halle. I think she was
Halle. It's
named. I think
Halle.
she was
Yeah,
named
she
after
named
Halle Berry. Yeah.
Okay,
facts.
so
And
Holly,
so
Holly Bailey.
Holly Bailey, she played fucking Little Mermaid, my nigga. Like she's Disney famous. Like she has DDG. I don't know. Is he a rapper or is he like a content creator? He like a streamer
I
or
think he
something?
started off as a streamer and
Okay.
got into the rap shit.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that yeah, he makes more money here, but it doesn't matter because when it comes to fame and who people know, and I think if just the fact he's putting out a press release, we wouldn't care if he wasn't with Halle Bailey. Like that's just really what it comes down to. Two, they break up all the time. And then I also think too, when you said about Joe Budden, I think the line between journalism and content creation is very blurred now. Like even and I think a lot of journalists, rightfully so, are angry about that because they have the non-bias. They have to be non-biased. They went to school for this, and even people like me, I don't consider myself a journalist. I have a platform. I research my stuff, but I'm different from an actual journalist. I respect actual journalists too much. But with Joe Budden, he has a right to comment on it because whether you want to look at it or not, Budden is probably at worst top two biggest names in hip hop or black culture media, no matter what you want to say about Joe Budden. I saw the video when he was on a podcast, which is even funny that you're dissing Joe Budden on a podcast because outside of Combat Jack, Joe Budden is the reason for black podcasts to be as big as they are, no matter how you feel about Joe. Joe's the only one who's making money from podcasting. A lot of not niggas making money from pod. He still is. Rory and Maul, they got a big pod, but theirs ain't what Joe's is. Like, I know white people who watch Joe's. Joe's is the only one, if you look at the top podcast rankings, he's up there with the Joe Rogans and all them white niggas who got podcasts. So yes, he's right to comment on these things. And everybody, so you had one hit long time ago. The fact that we're still talking about Pump It Up 20 years later just shows you his longevity to me. I don't know why people act like this is some funny joke. And Joe is succeeded in a second career. I think he's just salty. And when he's not, if he doesn't get back with her, we're gonna forget about him. I think, and he knows that, and I think that's why he was lashing out.
And this is one of those things I talk about all the time with the homies. A lot of people have main character syndrome, where you feel like no matter how bright your light is, you feel like you're the star of all stars and everything revolves around you. And it's like, what do you mean you don't care about me breaking up with my girl? And it's like, no, nigga, we don't care. Like, I feel you. You have your following, you have a couple views, and it's one of those things with the internet where, like, I always say this: the internet is the greatest terrible invention ever because now you have millions of idiots who can get on the same page and link up and say, "Nah, bro, you right," and they'll sit there and gas each other. And no disrespect to DDG because I mean I was one of the few people I found myself defending, bro, just because women would always try to shit on him. And it's like, no, he got his own thing going. Like, don't get me wrong, Hailey is definitely the bigger star of the relationship, but bro had his own thing going. But when you have that first person main character syndrome where it's like, I am the biggest star of them all, and like, what do you mean that you don't fuck with me? And it's like, nah, my nigga, that's not how the world works. Like, there's not one person on this planet who is loved by everybody. It just don't work like that. It don't matter who you are. Like, that's never been the case. So a lot of these young dudes, they be so caught up in that, and then they get we create this insulated bubble where everything is like what we want to hear. People that's gonna show love. There's no constructive criticism. There's nobody to sit there and say, yeah, bro, you do this good, but you probably need to do this better. You know what I'm saying? So when you used to only hearing what you want to hear, that's why you had these arguments like this. Because with Joe, my whole thing with Joe, to your second question, I don't think there's nothing wrong with people giving their opinion. I think people take opinions too serious and get emotional about it and want to fight you and want to argue you down. And the reality is, bro, prime example, I'm sitting here in Atlanta right now. Whatever I feel about DDG don't fucking matter. That nigga live in LA. He living his life. He got his money. He doing what he doing. So for you to allow that to affect you, that just talks about, that just shows like how self-centered people are. And they really like, what the fuck you mean? Like, how can you not agree with me? And it's like, that's just not how the world works. I don't have to agree with you, and you can still do everything you want to do. Like, so that's just that first person syndrome where everybody's like, nah, man, it's me nobody else, and that shit's silly.
That's the gift and the curse of the internet, because everybody has a voice. And I said it's gift and the curse because as much as the internet gets on my nerve, I wouldn't be able to do the show without the internet. You know, I had somebody stop me outside of Soldier Field yesterday and said they was a fan of the show. Like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this right now. So the internet is a good place, but I also feel like there needs to be a little bit of kind of bring you down to reality. We have a lot of rappers out here who big on the internet, but they can't fill out a stadium. You know, they can't even, they can barely fill out an amphitheater. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that there's levels to stuff. Yeah, DDG might have more money than a Halle Berry, but Halle Bailey. She's bigger than him. And the nigga you're dissing, Joe Budden, is bigger than him. You walk down a random street right now in Chicago, New York, LA, you ask them, have you heard of DDG? Have you heard of Joe Budden? 99% of people gonna be like, oh, I've heard of them. They never heard of dude. And so that's why I feel, but I understand his feelings are hurt. So I get it. I'm not really mad at him, but I do think there's a difference behind it. But Leo, let's go to your next topic. I know he's having some internet issues right here. We're gonna see if we still got him back. Let's see, we're gonna add him. Let's see if we can add him back or something right here. But by the way, we got some Bears news while we wait for Lero to get his internet back up and going. Jaquan Brisker is in concussion protocol and will not be traveling with the team to London tonight. This is according to Chris Emma. I think Chris is with WGN. I don't want to mess Chris' affiliation up, but they say if he does clear protocol, that he will be able to join the team later in the week. That's definitely something to monitor, because he looked real. He after that that hit.
Yeah, I was joking, but like no, they both look dead. Like they both were face down on the ground. Like 82 took the brunt of the hit, but like now they both looked like they were fucked up.
Yeah, man. So we hope Jaquan gets better, because he's been playing some good ball. So hopefully he gets out of protocol. Lero, we got you back. Your final topic, you got Steven Tyler. Now, Steven Tyler is with Aerosmith, right? What did he do this week?
Yeah, I saw the picture, but I didn't see what he actually did.
All right, y'all. So Liv, as y'all know, Liv Tyler's his daughter.
Yeah.
You know, they got a lot of money, so they got a lot of time on their hands. So recently, Liv did a sit down with him. I'm gonna give y'all a backstory on this after I tell y'all what happened. She got to sit down with him. She went and did some DNA work on their blood work to find their family on his mother's side of his family. They know their father's side. They know his father's side, but they don't know anything about the mom's side. They go in and they finding out his great grandfather, her great grandfather, his 3-time great grandfather was half black. And when she broke the news to him, he was the most excited white man I've ever seen find out in my life. He said, I knew it. I know that nigga wanted to get on the phone with Slash immediately. Nigga,
what brothers?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was amazing to witness. He said, I've always felt kin to the black people. And I was like, my aunties growing up, bro, like they love Steven. Everybody I know loves Steven Tyler, bro, up until recently. So recently, if y'all haven't been paying attention to the news lately, in the last year, he has gotten sued, or he's getting brought to court for something that happened in the 70s where he legally adopted this girl. And this is crazy because I'm going to say this stuff and then I'm going to ask you guys a question, which is very crazy to ask after this. But anyway, he legally adopted this young lady. I believe she was like 15 or 16. He was about 23, something like that. Whole time they were in a relationship. And they were together for, I don't know how long they was together, but she brought him to court some years after that and claimed that she was like basically forced and like used what's the word, groomed into this relationship with him and whatever. She wanted some money. They said no to her back in the day. She comes back with the case nowadays because it's a new world, and they are saying, okay, you might got a case now. And now, so what I'm reading is that Liv is trying to like save his image because someone else from those days also said he did this with another girl when she was 14. A lot of crazy shit going on. Now,
yeah.
My question to you guys is after all of this, of course, of course, we find out he wants to be black. He's black after all of this legal shit. That's the worst part of this. But do we accept Steven as a part of the community? If we could take away all of this shit I just said, before I said that, y'all was just as happy as he was and he was black. Now, do we accept this guy as a part of our community?
This is like the racial draft on a Chappelle show. I don't think that. I think it's too far removed. Like if it was like his grandfather, and I might even give him some bells. If it was his great grandfather, great. Them niggas don't even know you exist. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I don't know if y'all been watching the new season of Love Is Blind, but what's the ginger folks who was shorty? He's like, oh, I found out that I'm a quarter black. I was like, come on, my nigga.
Exactly like that. When I saw dude and I saw the story of Steven Taylor like the same day, bro, I was in tears. I'm like, this is fucking Steven Tyler. He's another 3% black nigga. But we all, like, niggas from America, we all white. I got white in my blood. I know.
Yeah, we all got something in us. Yeah, we all got something in. This is my barometer for actual black. Now, whether you claim is a different conversation. There's a lot of niggas out here who black who ain't really black. But if you got at the minimum a black grandparent, I believe you can say nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like anything else after that, it gets a little shaky. If we go far back into any ancestry, there might be a whole bunch of different races in there. But Steven Tyler, your contribution to music and even helping hip hop blow up, we give you credit for, but you are not black, my guy. And especially after these nasty man allegations that coming out right now. Absolutely not.
I almost got 100%.
We already dealing with the downfall of Diddy. We ain't finna add 2 niggas.
You adopted women so you can fuck them. That's a problem, sir. Like that is, we are not putting that on our docket.
2 women,
of them,
bro. Like
2 of them, G. We can't do that. No, but I agree. Like, and it's crazy because you'll see, like the saying go, everybody want to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga. So like he was excited.
R.I.P. Paul Mooney.
Right. He was excited, like, yeah, I do all this music. I'm black. I knew it. I felt this connection. But when we struggling out here, I ain't never heard Steven Tyler speak up about shit.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear none of that, bro. So no, like I also feel like, a lot of people go too far because we always talk about the new blacks and the people who didn't get comfortable with their blackness until they got to college. So now they want to be the nigga police and tell people who they can say and all of that. I'm not with that, but at the same time, shit like this, no, Steven, you don't get to jump on the bandwagon and now you black. And your ass is, how old is Steven Tyler? Like 65?
He was 80 to be black, my nigga. Like,
come on, dog.
No, fam. Well, you good. Just you can come kick it with us.
March, my nigga.
Bro, right. And you was alive and well at that time.
Yeah.
He was going to get some little girls to bring it home.
And even if you're not black, if you felt a kinship to black people, why weren't you more active, my nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Frank Sinatra at least sang in one of Dr. King's marches, my nigga. Like, what we doing?
And Frank Sinatra opened the door of Vegas to all the black entertainers. Steven Tyler did do the song with with Run DMC. I guess that's the most.
Which Run DMC did not want to do the song, by the way.
Well, he gave us, he said, walk this way with these shell toes. You know what I'm saying? Like he put them shell toes in the hood. Them boys went crazy. But I'm with y'all on the same thing. I just wanted y'all opinion on that because I definitely feel like without these rumors or facts, whatever you did, my dude, without all of this stuff, I might even be like, yeah, he an honorable mention nigga. But you like little girls, you out, my nigga. And if you say you black loud enough, they might arrest you today. You better be quiet.
Right.
You better be quiet, bro.
In the words of Paul Mooney, don't laugh too hard. They come get me. So be careful with that, man. Leroy, I just had one question before we wrap up. I'll be heading out of the country for the first time on Wednesday, heading to London. My question for you, do you have any long flight suggestions as a nigga that has a hard time sleeping on airplanes?
Man, Scott, I'm going to be honest with you, brother. I know you don't partake, but edible will do you right. I'm telling you.
That's what Dante said.
Do you some edibles and you'll be straight. Get you a brownie or something like that. Because like them long flights, you're going to wake up after 4 or 5 hours. You're going to wake up and going to be looking stupid. So your best bet, get you an edible because I woke up on them flights and that edible, you get you a little food, eat a little bit, turn on another movie. I watched John Wick on the plane, went right back to sleep, dude. So like my advice is an edible or just take you some pen and pad and write some ideas out. You know, do some of that type of creative shit. But edible, my nigga, like.
On the real, bro.
Yeah, the
I told
third
him,
person to say that.
Or
get that
look,
50 milligram edible, get you a glass of red wine or two. You're gonna wake up in London, nigga.
yeah, it's an 8-hour flight or something like that, so
Yeah.
it ain't too bad. So
Yeah, I got a hour layover in New York, so it's about a 7-hour flight from New York, and when we get this like 7 in the morning. So, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. But Lero, man, anything you want to plug before we get you up out of here?
I just gotta say this because we ain't been on the show in a minute, man. Shout out to my boy D Rose.
Yeah.
It was the hardest, one of the craziest days of the year to me because we all knew this day was coming soon, but that man he did a lot for us. Our generation, like D Rose is the you look at him and you see niggas could make it from where we come from because that shit wasn't supposed to happen no matter what, and it happened. So shout out to D Rose, a great career. He inspired the whole city, and you good wherever you go, my boy. Other than that, y'all just keep rocking with me and looking out for the new stuff. That's all I got to say, man.
And I love the love that D Rose got at Soldier Field yesterday, man. When he got showed on the Jumbotron, when I tell you it erupted, you had about 50,000 people just chanting MVP, which was beautiful. I think it was PJ's birthday yesterday, so they had, they brought him out on the field. He was there, Caleb Williams linked up with him. It was just cool to really see the love that D Rose deserves to get. And I know they're gonna have Derrick Rose Day on January 4th. Retire the jersey, man. Y'all got a couple months to make that decision. At least give us the decision on Derrick Rose night. At least give us a decision, and then you do it sometime next year, man. So, Lero, thank you for joining. We will have you back once me and Dante get back from London, man. You can follow Lero at Larry is Legend on Twitter and at Larry is Legend 1 on Instagram, man. Lero, we'll holler at you, bro.
All right, y'all boys, be safe. Have a great trip, man. Fish and chips all day. Fish and chips.
Yes, sir. All right, man. We gonna wrap this episode up, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I said, no show on Friday. No show on Friday. We will be out the country doing our thing, man. But we will be back on Monday. And if you're looking for a 7 Night at the Hallis, me and my brother are gonna be going live tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time. We're gonna recap Sunday's game. We're gonna preview this Sunday game. We got a lot of content coming, y'all. We're gonna be shooting some vlogs. We're gonna do some pods. And the street is telling me that we might have a pregame on-field video. I got a very important email today. So let's just say we're going to have a whole bunch of content for y'all. Gonna be fire, man. So y'all can follow Dante on Twitter at OctoberZoneTay. You can follow me at Barberchair Scott on all social media platforms. Follow Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net. Follow HB Media, HB Media TV on Twitter, and at HB Media on Instagram. And of course, subscribe to the Patreon that you see right here, patreon.com/Barberchair Network. If you got your phone out, you can take your phone right to the screen, click on the QR code, and it'll take you right to the link. 4 different tiers, man. Everything we got over there. And if you subscribe to the $10 all access tier, you get 25% off on your first order at the Barberchair Network shop. And of course, that link right here is bcnetshop.com, man. Get your I'm Not Gonna Hold You link merch, your Barberchair Network merch, 7 Night to Hollis, and 10-year anniversary merch, man. Cop, we got hoodies and jackets. It's about to get real cold out here in Chicago. Well, allegedly cold, global warming, my nigga. It might, and it was 60 on Christmas last year, so it might not get cold. But anyway, get your hoodie. Hoodies are good in any weather, man. bcnetshop.com, man. So y'all enjoy this Monday Night Football. Y'all enjoy the rest of the week. If you missed our picks, I will be making clips tonight, so they'll be dropping at the original clip time that they dropped before the games. So you're gonna have all that, man. So we're gonna holler at y'all next Monday. I'll be jet lagged and probably a little drugged up, but I will be on this show next week. So we're gonna be about it.